Hello, everybody. Hi.
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 Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Legends of Logomancy's TTRPG Showcase, where we showcase the best in TTRPG content every Monday night from Canada, exclusively from Canada this time. Thanks, Vagabond. Last time I was outnumbered by a bunch of Americans. I was the only Canuck on there. But, you're going to notice some familiar faces and some returning faces and some brand new shiny happy faces stepping in this time around. Thanks to the folks that are in chat. Hi, Wookie. Nice to see you. Why don't we go around the table? How's everybody doing tonight? Danny.
Oh, amazing. I'm so happy to be here. So happy to try this out. It's like my first dip out of D&D, really. Haven't really done anything other than 5e, and I'm excited for it.
It's going to be a good time. Folks will notice that our overlays are a little bit different for this one. We're going to be playing some Daggerheart, and it might look a little confusing why there are 5 character tokens for every single one of the players, but we'll get to it. Carly, how's your day?
Oh, it's great. I'm very excited. Very excited to be here.
You excited to play a frog wizard?
Oh, am I ever? Do you know how much time and thought I've put into this frog wizard?
0.
Oh, yes. Not at all. They have not laid awake thinking about this.
There needs to be a spin-off.
Just the frog
Absolutely.
wizard.
Frog Wizard, their own story.
Super excited. I've only ever played D&D. I haven't done any other TTRPGs, so I'm excited for this.
Folks that followed through on our Girl by Moonlight game would recognize Amanda over here playing the lovely Miss Cohn.
Yo.
You have returned.
I have. You haven't gotten rid of me.
Death didn't stick.
Nope.
I'm
back.
I always look forward to the idea of being ominous and creepy in my responses with strangers in that regard. Where it's like the whole do you want to have kids? My line ends with me. Things like that,
Solid.
Right? Brian, how you doing?
Good. Doing all right.
Living the dream.
Got hooked up with a new mic, courtesy of James himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it sounds probably quite a bit better than the old shitty Blue Yeti.
It most certainly does.
Yeah,
100%.
Wonderful. So happy to rep that. Nice to step away from 5e. Come check out another tabletop RPG. Never tried one myself, so we're all in this fucking unfamiliar boat together, and I'm happy to have a little company in that regard. But excited to play Billy the Goat. We'll see where that goes. They nerfed everything about what I wanted him to do.
No.
He's still going to be amazing, though.
The headbutt is gone. But anywho, I'm excited to try the mechanics that they've got. He can kick off people, and I used to be known for my backflips. I was a gymnast in days gone by, so I used to be able to bust out backflips kind of on command at recesses and shit like that. So it's going to be fun to maybe kick off people's chests and do some backflips about it. And be Billy the Goat gymnast.
I am totally down.
Yeah. So, see where that goes.
Bear with me a sec. I'm just loading up our audio set here. There we are. Beautiful.
I'm going to be the reason why we need to hydrate.
That's fair. That's okay. Moon's probably the reason that we're all going to need to hydrate. She has a tendency to be spam the hydrate thing, and we're all better for it. But that said, tonight we find ourselves in the continent of Wildmount. Based on the plane of Exandria, we can't play Daggerheart and not have it be in the Mercerverse.
No.
Agreed.
I just dubbed that now. So
Mercerverse? It's a good verse.
Mercerverse.
We wanted to play something a little familiar to everyone. Snow gently falls from the sky. and the wind bites at your cheeks as you stand in the graveyard of Palebank Village. Fishing outpost south of Uthadurn that's home to several hundred dwarves and elves. The sun is low in the sky, sinking behind the fresh grave of Ergon Wenth, an old dwarf who caught a curse or a disease or something that turned him into an ice statue. The folk of this village have gathered to pay their final respects to Ergon's frozen remains laying there 6 feet deep. There are, including the four of you, approximately half a dozen other folks. There's a gruff voice that after the padre, the pastor, the local cleric of Lathander has finished given some rites, slaps a book shut and says, "It's fucking cold here," and tramps off into the snow. A bunch of people like kind of bow their heads. Some of them say like a little prayer to the grave. Some of them just kind of like bundle their furs around them, give everybody a stoic looking nod, and go to turn. May, the wind is biting at your skin. It's cold here. Colder than a ribbit has any place to be around. You keep, the last 2 days have been a constant exercise in keeping yourself awake. Because as you get colder and colder and colder, being a frog person, you have a tendency to go into a suspended animation state, almost a trance. And you just keep like bundling yourself up and trying to manage. Can you describe to everybody what they see when they look at Hermé?
So Hermé, or May, is a 4-foot tall ribbit. She has emerald green skin with some lilac purple spots and just straight onyx eyes. There's no little like pupils. There's straight deep black. She's wearing little glasses that have like octagonal frames, and she is wearing a lilac colored dress with an ivory blouse underneath, and she's got some belts around her waist with a little pouch, and she's got a deep purple cloak that is nowhere near warm enough for what this temperature is right now. And when you look at the cloak, you can see that there's all this silver embroidery, but when you look closer at it, all over her cloak is a embroidered map of Exandria with little pieces and stars of certain cities or towns.
I love it. Also, everybody hydrate. I called it. Thanks, Destin Moon.
Does it count if it's this?
Sure, let's do that. I've hydrated with beer before. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Just checking.
Refreshing.
Yeah, so that is May. And
May?
she's just shivering.
Your friend is dead.
I know. And it just kind of isn't sure what to say. Just kind of staring down at
Trying to keep your eyes from freezing. Being
Yeah,
big old
pretty
frog
much.
eyes.
Pretty much.
At your shoulder is your the reason for your journey. The person that had connected up with you to be shown the way. You've been to Palebank Village before. Is the armored human lady Cohen. Cohen, when everybody looks upon you, what do they see as you stand here?
So they would see definitely like a highborn, like noble looking, stereotypically hot woman. Long, flowing brown hair, kind of like a lighter mint green eyes. She's wearing really fancy and barely used or touched breastplate or plate armor. that's definitely more like a fashion aesthetic rather than protective. She's warrior princess. She's, trying to make something of her, but she's very much like really into her looks. And but she is wearing some heavier clothes. I'd say kind of like a medium blue with some gold embellishments on her cloak. Definitely fur, very warm, and she's wearing that over her armor.
Mhm.
But I mean, she's letting a little bit of the cleavage show, just because.
What is a warrior
all
princess
aesthetic.
without boobage?
Yeah,
If Xena
Gosh.
taught us anything.
I was literally about to say that.
she goes hard into this aesthetic, and she gets made fun of for it, being like, you want to be a warrior, you want to be all this stuff, and she's like, yeah, but I can look good doing it.
Look, if Power Girl taught us anything, having a window of distraction is important for confusing your enemies.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and she's definitely a daddy's money type girl. She didn't pay for any of this.
I like it. Standing I'm going to say reasonably back from the procession, there are two folks that are being paid and or coerced to be here who did not know this person in any way, shape, or form. Let's start with Danny. Leaning against a tree, trying not to freeze your nuts off. What do they see?
Yeah, so they see Sebastian or Ash. He's a Qatari, so just covered in fur. And this is kind of where he gets his nickname Ash from. I am just different like shades of the whites and grays, and it's just all over. My armor is all a darker black cloak and everything. You can tell that I'm freezing. I have both my daggers away in their sheaths, and my tail kind of wrapped around, and my paws kind of wrapped in them, trying to stay warm. And I'm just shivering here. Like I kind of look towards Billy, and it's like they didn't pay us enough to be here. Why are we out here? As I'm just shivering, and every so often, like if a shadow kind of passes over me, or I get cast in the shadow of a tree, you might notice I shimmer in and out of existence.
That's cool.
Okay. Billy, as Ash addresses you, what does everybody see?
You would see first noticeably would be his stance, I'd imagine. He's kind of standing pretty tall, but his legs look a little kind of backwards to most people's. He's a fawn, so he's got a kind of goatish hind quarter and legs. But on them you would see golden hoof shoes, like a horseshoes. And leading up from there, no pants, but he does have a jacket, like a black leather jacket with a bunch of patches on it. A lot of those patches are like sports teams patches. So it's kind of like punk patch style, but like with sports hooligan apparel.
I love it.
On across his fingers, he's got they are, for all intents and purposes, magical brass knuckles, but they look more like those gaudy like rings, the rings that like boxers would wear,
like the ones you can buy at San Francisco.
Basically, yeah. But his are made of like pure gold, and they're magical, and across them it says "fuck yous." And looking up from there, though, he's just got jet black fur, and hanging by his side is a hammer that looks a little bigger than his frame should be able to wield, but every now and again he pulls it out when necessary.
I like it.
Yeah, and then just kind of slick back horns.
Beautiful.
And then he would respond to Ash and just be like, "Aye, it's never enough money, is it? I swear last time, though, They gave us a penny more. Shit's
Paying
getting
more than a penny for this cold.
It's getting more expensive to live, and they keep paying us less and less. Something's gonna give.
My daggers, that's what's going to give.
Well placed, yes.
So
Hey, who do you think this was anyway?
I couldn't tell you. Could we tell that it was, was it mostly dwarves there? With him being a dwarf?
a mix, actually.
A mix?
A couple of dwarves, couple of humans, couple of elves. Ahead of you, your two companions seem to be in conversation with a grizzled old wood elf. He's got a big old stick he's leaning into, and he's just all bundled up. He's got a bit of a hunch to him at this point. For your understanding, you are in Palebank Village on the northern end of the Crystal Sands tundra. I apologize, I misspoke. You are north of the city of Uthadern, where you had made your journey from. South of Uthadern is the Savalier Wood, the ruins of Malaya's Mere. Shady Creek Run is further south than that. And then into the Empire itself. You had originated out of the Empire in a place called Odeslo. That's the place that you'd all met up. Odeslo is run by a noble family. Cohen, you're very familiar with them. You made the trip up here. This lady hired you, got you out of a bit of hot water. You were handed a couple handfuls of coin for your troubles, and also gained your freedom from a little bit of, we'll say, mischief. And you saddled up with this well-armored, busty lady, and this innocuous-looking frog woman that is just constantly looking in her pockets and scribbling things down, and seems to have a little creature with her. What was his name again?
That's Gregory.
Gregory.
Yeah.
And he is
He is just like this a little small blue water elemental that's just on my shoulder, and he'll kind of skitter to the other shoulder, and it's about the size of a salamander.
Okay. So he's kind of like your Osmosis Jones sort of.
Yeah, I was
vibe.
thinking that really cute lizard from, is it Frozen 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
That one.
I like it.
Yeah.
Jumping back to our other two party members, as everybody kind of drifts off, there's a gruff voice from behind you, and Cohen, you feel a hand just land on your shoulder, and it's that stooped elf, the elderly wood elf, and he says, "Thank you for attending Urgon's service." And as you turn, you meet the gaze of Elro. He's a retired ranger, was in your father's service for many years, is the de facto leader of Palebank. It's a pretty small community. It's a fishing village. They just they need competent people. He says, "I am sorry to speak of dark tidings under such circumstances, but I believe that Palebank Village may be in danger, and I'm hoping that you can help us. We are fortunate that your father sent his most capable daughter so soon."
Yes, he definitely sent us. He knows we're here, and he sends his best wishes. And hopefully we'll be able to solve this problem quick and efficiently and be on our way to warmer climates.
What a strange way of phrasing that. That is not in any way suspicious whatsoever.
No.
I love it. Elro throws a small sign. He's waving gang signs. No, he's says a small prayer over Urgon's freshly dug grave, and then snorts, turns around and he says, "Why don't we go inside?"
Agreed.
Little frozen frog. It's like, oh, these climates are terrible for ribbits.
Yeah, they are.
There was a frost ribbit that lived out in Iceland. I wonder if they're still alive. And he like leaves it for far too long, looking off in the distance, gives his head a shake and says, "Probably not. Let's go inside."
Okay.
And he starts tramping his way through the snow back to the village proper. The wind is howling. There's the bark of dogs here and there. Most people aren't outside unless they need to be at this point. He leads you back to his cabin proper. The whole place is all log cabins. About the only place in the whole town that's of a double decker. There's like 2 or 3 buildings, maybe, but everything else is like a 10 by 12 cabin or slightly bigger, depending on if it's more than one person or a family. Bunch of trapper shacks kind of deal. And Elro leads you back to a reasonably robust, well-chinked cabin with a lazy smoke coming out of it. And he kicks it up against a plank, and he leans his stick against a wall and moves a wooden latch on the door and pushes himself. Come in, come in, come in. You two back there, come on. Don't let all my heat out. It's terrible. Wipe your feet, your hooves. Wipe your appendages.
Always keep me hooves clean.
Good, just keep them dry. Don't tramp water in on my floor.
All right.
What do May's feet look like?
Let's get the fucking heart going, boys.
I was thinking about this. Like,
We're gonna need a sub for this or something.
No,
How
I
much
need
money
content
they
for
bring
the
in?
For
OF.
free.
Yeah.
Viewer counts.
Yeah. They're like frog feet. Like they are frog feet. She does not have shoes. She is freezing.
Okay.
Like, you just can like hear her just like bones rattling as she's shaking and just trying to like. Is there a fire going in this house?
Absolutely.
She's going to just like beeline to the fire, just like as close as she can get to the fire without being burned, because she's like on the verge of just being frozen.
One half of this building is entirely made out of stone, and just like stone and clay all the way up, with a massive hearth built into it, and the other 3 walls are long chinked logs chinked with moss. Because of that massive hearth, there's a large cauldron bubbling with what looks to be the remnants of like ever stew. Just the same stew that you keep going day after day, and you put into it whatever you have, and it never goes bad because it always stays warm. And it's a staple of living in the bush. And he comes in and he sits down into a large, squishy-looking purple chair that looks like it's mostly just stitched together bits of other pieces of furniture over the years. Like no part of that cushion is it's ramshackle as fuck. And he sinks into it. You can hear his bones almost creaking. He's like, "Oh, that's the good shit right there." And everybody else is left standing. There's a small circular rug in front of him. He has no other chairs. He just like gestures to the floor in front of the fire.
Living that bachelor life.
I'll stand.
Oh, he stops and he forgets himself. And he goes over to one wall and he pulls a stool over that's like maybe knee height at best. And offers Cohen his purple chair, and he proceeds to sit down on the stool. milady.
She absolutely takes it.
Yeah,
And she
it
sits
is
down and just
not
adjusts
comfortable.
herself.
It is.
Right.
Probably would have been better off with the stool or the floor.
Oh, this
It's
is lovely. You have quite the cozy home.
it's lumpy in all the wrong places.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I was gonna say I lost Amanda there for a second.
I lost all of you guys.
Yeah. It's lumpy in all the wrong spots. Like it's like using somebody else's pillow. No.
Yeah. Erlo, this is quite a lovely home. I can see all those years of hard work really went into your retirement plan.
Well, good work keeps the mind busy. And when your mind is busy, you never age. This is particularly true for elves. We don't even get to sleep. Like, always gotta be doing about something. And you look around this place, and it's just... It looks like he collects hobbies more so than he has hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, off in one section, there's a bunch of knitting stuff. And you can tell that he has knit before, but he hasn't done it in a while. And then something else caught his interest, and he's like, oh, look, model trains. Oh, look, wood carving. Oh, look, like 400 years of compulsive neurodivergence.
I feel
What
it.
are we? Yeah. And he says, oh, Ms. May, here. And he goes over and he grabs what it probably could have been a scarf at one point, and or some kind of like leatherworking project. And it's basically just long wraps of woolens. And he's like, leg wraps for your flippers? Toes? I don't think you have toes anymore. And he just like thrusts upon you a bunch of like woolen wraps.
Thank you. She's gonna just take these and she's gonna just wrap her feet in them.
Yeah.
She's still by the fire.
Yeah.
Just trying to warm up. Thank you so much.
Strange things have been happening around here, and I hope I impressed the urgency upon your father for our aid in my letter. I'm so thankful that you managed to find boonsome people that aren't afraid to stand up and do what's right. And he like hammers his knee with a till hammer.
Oh, yes. The importance of justice, in a sense, is not lost on anyone in this group. We're all good doers, ready to do good deeds right now, because it's, like your letter said, very urgent matter.
Indeed. And he stands up from his stool, and he goes over and he grabs a number of small tin cups of all just like banged out shapes and sizes. One's clay, one's metal, reaches over with some a big leather glove and pulls a kettle off the fire and starts pouring out cups of tea for everybody. 2 months passed. Ergon there. Your friend, I believe, Miss May. You've been here before, correct?
I have, yes. Not for a long time, though. I don't remember it being this cold.
Well, I mean, we're so close to Eiselcross. It's a thing that happens. I mean...
Yeah. I guess.
Ergon's cabin is free at this point if you folks need a place to stay. But...
It wouldn't be looked down upon, us staying in his cabin after everything?
Well, I mean, like, his cabin belonged to somebody else years past, and we waste nothing here. Not building a new cabin for every person that comes. We'll just give them the next one when somebody kicks it.
Oh, no, I understand, but just with him passing so recently, I didn't want it to be seen as rude or disrespectful.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, no, we're not. Everything has an air of practicality in Palebank. Realistically, most of the things that he had depending on, we'll have to go through his possessions to see if he had a will or anything of that nature. But it'll be distributed amongst the town as is necessary. Newcomers will be afforded old snowshoes and things of that nature that belonged to an old timer. You know, as is our way.
Well,
But
if we're meant to be here for a while, then it might not hurt to have somewhere to stay, and I'll look at the rest of the group.
Makes
You
sense.
guys
like
to
think?
me.
Lean in and whisper, did he die in there?
I don't know, and I'm too scared to ask.
Okay. Yeah, I just have this uncomfortable look of we're gonna be staying in a dead man's house.
2 months
Yeah.
pass. Like, Elro totally missed the side conversation. He was like pouring tea and is like, oh yeah, that's just right. Need some nutmeg. And he carries on. He says, 2 months pass. Ergon returned home from exploring Eiselcross for a whole year. That's what he did. He was an explorer. You know, he's too stubborn to die, he always said. And he had been back for a few days, and he came down with a strange affliction. He started moving very slowly, and blue veins appeared all over his body. We have 2 priests in the village, one of Moradin and one of Coralon, Lathander. And they used every spell that they could muster, but nothing seemed to stick. It just kind of kept hitting him. And he battled that affliction for weeks. I mean, that ever-slowing body of his, eventually the blue veins just got deeper and deeper and spread all over his body, and he turned to literal ice. It's like some frozen shit over here.
And just to
Second
clarify,
frozen
what color
reference.
should his veins should have been?
The same, well, like, normally you get like blue veins on your hand, but these are like
Yeah.
above the skin kind of things.
Like they're raised.
Okay.
Like they're varicose veins, but all over your body and glowing a vibrant pale blue.
And he was a dwarf, correct?
Vibrant.
Vibrant. Not like weird cyan colors, not normal vein colors.
No one else was afflicted?
Well, funny you
Well-
should mention that, actually.
God, it's contagious.
Until yesterday, I thought, and everyone else thought, that was an isolated incident. But I noticed that Tulgi, he's a trapper over here, a dwarf, started showing signs of the same illness. He was being flippant about it, being like, leave me alone, I don't need doctors. I'll fix it with bleach and shit. And so that was the thing that happened. I apologize for, this was totally written by Matt Mercer and released in the height of COVID. 100%.
Arcanamectin, that will work.
Yeah.
Bleach and shit. It fixes everything.
Yeah.
But like, I spoke with Tulgi, and sorry, she was just super flippant and just pushed us away, and she just wants to be left alone to die in peace. But as the village head,
Did she try? Sorry, did she try any horse tranquilizer?
I couldn't tell you. She wouldn't accept any kind of treatment from our medical professionals. No.
Or what
So
about a
she might have
dewormer?
drank any number of things that she had in her possession.
And you've never seen this
Deworming
before.
agent? Who knows?
I heard it's effective.
I've heard it's not.
I've done my own research, you know.
I bet. Read a book once. Only once.
And
But
it's,
Really, I've
as
just
a medical
just
savant like myself, I think we should leave those to the experts and not,
But the
do your
town
own
crier
research.
said that it's okay.
yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
Have we seen this before? this symptoms?
Let's think about that for a second. Do you have anything? You know what? You're a magical historian. Why don't you go ahead and roll me knowledge? And if you like, you can burn a point of hope to add a +2 from your magical historian. So, first dice roll. Carly's going to be rolling
that's
2d12
terrifying. First
and
roll,
adding 4 to each of them.
and I burn a hope.
And adding them together. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can burn
All
hope using Demiplane by just clicking the little minus button on the left hand
So
side.
okay, 2d12s and +4.
You're going to add those d12s together and add the +4. Tell me what you get.
Not great. 11.
With fear or with hope?
With fear.
11 with fear. Okay, so with an
I'm a
11,
sad ribbit.
so you added the 2d12s together
Yeah.
and
It
added a
was
4?
great. Yeah.
Like a 5 and a 2 or something.
All right. And
This is 6 and a
and they
1.
were both different numbers, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. If you match your 2d12s together, that's how you crit.
I did a practice roll and I got a crit, so I'll never get another one again.
Oh.
You wasted that earlier.
I
You
did.
wasted it.
You did. You 100%
Oh.
wasted all your chances.
I was trying to worm them up. Yeah, that
So-
was an 11.
Medicine wasn't ever really your bailiwick, right? Like there's a bunch of interesting stuff out there, but May's no healer. So you've read about things like plagues, you've read about things like various illnesses that come across as an adventurer and as a traveler. There's certain things that you're like, got to watch out for that and know how to treat that. One thing comes to mind, and it's not so much about this disease, it's that it all starts somewhere, and things that are contagious and endemic can get out of hand if they're not taken seriously. Hence, asking for help from a local lord. Maybe not local, but certainly esteemed.
Mm-hmm.
It impresses upon May the sense of urgency that Elro has in this. As you sip you realize it's less tea and it's more like a bone broth, but it's very warm and it warms you all the way up. Thinking to yourself, you can finally see straight because your eyes have started to
Are no longer frozen.
They've thawed
Yeah.
out.
Do I have eyelids? Like, do ribbits have eyelids? I have questions.
I'm gonna say yeah. Yeah, you can probably blink.
Okay.
One eye at a time.
Mhm.
Hypnotoad says.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's
but
what
I'm gonna
comes
ask-
to mind.
As I'm drinking, I'm going to ask Elro, have there only been 2 instances of this? There's only been 2 people?
Thus far. And Tulgi, I just noticed her yesterday. And Ergon had come back 2 months ago before he started showing symptoms. You know, he had been home for a few days before anyone noticed his affliction. I don't know if maybe he had it before he came home and just didn't say anything. You're not supposed to get on a boat if you're sick because of rules and all that. But he may have just lied on his, paperwork. Really on the nose. This whole thing
Wow.
is really on the nose.
This should have trigger warnings.
No kidding. I'm like, I'm getting
Like, I'm
sitting
flashbacks
here
here.
reliving the COVID times.
Mhm.
Matt
is fun
Mercer
for me.
actually apologized for this on Twitter. So this is written by
no.
him, James Hake, James Introcaso from MCDM, and Chris Lockey, one of the production guys for Darrington Press. And they're like, look, we made this a year before COVID hit, and it is a really unfortunate release date. I am so sorry. It's really fun. It was already in the book. We couldn't do anything about it. Sorry.
Wow.
Wow. It's like a
Like now we have to
prophecy
go
at this
spend
point.
2 weeks at this cabin, not leave.
Yeah. And the cabin is paid by taxpayers' money.
See, the fun thing is I'm actually a nurse, and I was like mandated onto a COVID unit for a few months. And so now I'm like, all right, we need to quarantine the nurse brain's kicking in. Like,
Yep.
no,
We need to triage people. Start like, what is it?
we got a symptom
Contact
map. We
thing?
got a contact map. We like,
Thankfully, Palebank Village is reasonably remote. You are
Right.
the only people that you saw on the road coming up to this place. You didn't see anybody leaving on your way up. And that's like
Okay.
a good 3-4 days of foot travel, right?
fantastic. We can shut this town down.
Cohen, for
Mhm.
your knowledge, because knowing where you were coming, and having the resources that you would, you know a few things about this place.
Okay.
This serves as a primary point of interest on this continent for folks that are making the trek across to Islecross. Islecross, of course, Cyrinlia is the trade outpost on the other side. So most folks, what they'll do is they'll take a boat from Palebank Village, go around the coast, usually sticking pretty close to the coast to get to Cyrinlia, and then it heads up into Arctic tundra. There's the ruins of Aor up there. There's strange monsters, all sorts of things. So Palebank is basically the northernmost bastion of the Graying Wildlands here. Most people that come here are either coming to or from Islecross. Mostly treasure hunters looking for like ancient relics and things of that nature. May, you were supposed to pick something up here at some point. But, it's not like a primary trade hub or anything like that. It's just kind of an outpost. Most of the things that are here are things that the people here provide for themselves. There's a couple of things that stand out in your mind. Just from reading, May, specifically in your case, because you've been here before. There's a bunch of squat cabins, like the one that you're living in or sitting in right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's an antique shop run by a fella named, or a lady named Verla Pelk. There's a small, it's not so much an inn as it is more of an ale house that's looks like a big old Quonset or a barn. Local travelers will like find a corner, lay out your bedrolls, you can sleep there kind of thing. It's not a place to rent a room. That's where you stayed last time, May.
Okay.
It was reasonably warm. There's a couple like goods shops kicking around. Just, traveling supplies, that sort of thing. Curiosities. And then there's a local greenhouse that one of the locals keeps a plant growth spell going into that helps feed everybody. It is suspiciously made out of ice all year round. Let's light in real nice.
That's pretty cool.
That was cool.
Elro kind of leans back and he says, if you're willing, I would be very appreciative if you could find out what's caused Ergon's demise and Tulgi's affliction. I'm concerned that it could spread. Tulgi just refuses to give me the time of day, and you know how folks are. The few glass blades in the village that we have are better at combat than they are at their investigative prowess. Tulgi's pretty distrustful of the government, and that makes it even more challenging. I can't make this up.
Well,
Let's jump on a
They're
convoy
coming.
and
They're
head
coming
on
for her
over.
axe from her cold dead hands.
luckily, I brought 2 extra companions with me that also are distrusting of any type of political, governmental figures.
That's good. Maybe you guys can chit chat and figure out what's going on then. That said, like nothing for nothing, and he heads over and he kicks one of the wooden cabinets that he has. Everything in this place is really stout, like it's deliberately been picked out and put together. Nothing matches, but everything has that like 1980s wooden furniture feel. Like, yeah, that's a wooden table, and it'll support 1,000 pounds. Like, you know,
It's robust.
before everything was made of pressboard. And he kicks it open, and from down below there's a wooden cask. And he opens it up and he rummages around, and you hear a bunch of clinking. And he picks up a small.
I put down the wool that I had, the yarn that I was playing with, and turned towards it.
Yeah.
If anyone noticed, I was attempting to pocket some yarn.
He holds up a small wooden box about yay big or so, and opens the lid. It's two lids that open like this, and it's just rows and rows and rows of gold coins. And he says, "I could." Oh yes. Well, your traveling expenses as well. Roughly, Daggerheart doesn't use a gold piece system. More so, it uses like how many handfuls of gold do you have as an adventurer? And he lists off enough to, for all intents and purposes, make it worth your while. So, in Daggerheart, it goes, how many individual coins do you have? How many handfuls do you have? How many bags do you have? Do you have a chest full of gold? Because it's very much, it's less a resource tracking sort of system and more a role-playing narrative. He is essentially offering you a bag of gold, which a handful of gold will set you up staying at an inn for a couple of weeks and living the life. A bag of gold, you could go and start your own business. Kind of deal.
Buy my own hotel.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a shitty hotel to start, but yeah. You could totally put a hotel on like Connecticut and Baltic using one bag of money. So
I pick the ball of yarn back up. He's not going to miss it.
no, it is bright scarlet red.
I love it. Into the pocket it goes.
Indeed.
I look around. I don't know if he takes notice, but
you know what? Why don't you roll me a finesse check? Let's see. Versus his perception.
Since I'm a thief, I can use that additional +1, right?
As long as you burn a hope to do so.
That's fine with me. Oh, actually, that's good. That's a crit.
Perfect.
He's about to be like, 2 4s. That's a crit.
He's counting like a little abacus. So that's a crit, and you get your hope back.
Nice.
Yeah. Crits are always good. He's looking at a little. He totally does not notice you steal his ball of yarn, and he probably won't notice for like 9 months.
When he gets back into knitting.
When his hobbies circle back, because that's how we do. It's a thing. That said, he says, if this is something that you're able to take care of, I would certainly appreciate the help. And he takes Cohen's hands in his hands, and they are like leather but hard.
Nice.
Like this man has seen work. Madam?
There's like a look of trying to veil the disgust of the rough, old, crinkly hands. And she's just nodding.
Is this something that I can leave in your capable hands?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Otherwise, why would my father have sent us if he didn't believe we could handle this job?
Could I trouble you, madam, to possibly roll me a deceive check? It's probably for the best.
That's presence, I believe, correct?
Yeah. Deceive it. Yeah, deceive his presence. Do you have anything in your background that you think would come into play for that?
I mean,
I would give it to you for a noble. Like
I would
lying,
say the noble. You're
lying is second
lying
nature.
is a big thing. Cool.
So 2d12 plus 3.
So this
And
is
tell me-
going to be with fear, unfortunately.
That's
19,
that's great.
20, 22.
22 with fear. So that's 2 points of fear that I've racked up at this point. He's like, well, of course, he wouldn't have sent somebody completely unsuited for the task and or like unable to perform or have come without his consent. Obviously, that's not what's
Obviously.
happening here.
Never.
And he specifically says all of that aloud. He's like, that would be the worst case scenario and would probably doom us all. Thankfully, that's not
So
what
does
happened.
people. No.
Billy, this is a weird conversation right now.
Yeah, I noticed that. Billy is like trying to find like maybe it's like actually the ball of like yarn or something like that, and is just trying to like play kickball with it, just like get
Hacky
it up
sack.
into the air. Yeah, exactly. It's like just totally bored of the details.
So which one of these lovely abodes is, what did you say her name was? Tool Guy?
Toolgi.
Tool Gee. Great name.
Toolgi's cabin is way far back on the east side of the village. You got to go through the bush a little bit, but you just ask anybody. If you start heading in that direction, it's you leave the village proper, go down the footpath a little bit, and you'll come across Toolgi's cabin. Single story, windows are all shuttered. Good old one-room cabin. Good enough for your grandparents. It's good enough for you.
Sorry, excuse me. How would you spell Tulgi?
Tulgi.
And just Maze just has like a little journal out and she's just taking notes.
I appreciate the steadfast nature of you taking discussions down on paper, young lady. That is amazing.
Oh,
Good for you. Not enough people do that anymore.
Thank you.
All this frivolous, magical, digital shit. Don't trust it.
Well, I just like to have my notes and know what, in case we need things, information.
Exactly.
I just really like information.
You keep your shit about you. I like it. I like the cut of your jib.
Thank you. What's
Welcome.
It's a jib, right?
You got gumption.
The hell is this guy talking about?
Gumption. I think
No.
that's a dish.
No,
think I
that's
had that once.
gumbo, isn't that? I don't.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Is it?
It's
I
probably
don't
just
know.
speaking Elvish. It's fine. It's the old Elvish word for like chutzpah.
And you said sorry.
That sounds like a dish.
Yeah, that does too.
Right?
It's
Tulgi's,
delicious.
their symptoms started only a day or two ago.
Yes, that's when it was brought to my attention. Tulgi was in our local trading post, and somebody had noticed that they had veins running up and down her neck that weren't like normal veins.
And what would Tulgi look like? Sorry, I was defrosting for a little bit. What what does Tulgi look like? So we know when we see them.
Tulgi,
Blue vein.
she's a mountain dwarf, so she's pretty short. She's got vibrant red hair that just goes all over the place. She keeps it under a hood. She kind of walks a little slow, a little bit of a limp. Hurt a leg a couple of years back. Yeah, no, a bunch of scars. I mean, I don't swing that way, but I don't think she's very attractive. Just leaves it hanging.
Well,
Make sure you write that down.
Not attractive.
Not attractive. Okay.
Arlo's not interested. Very important.
No,
Not Earl's type.
she's one of those bathes all the time kind of people.
Oh.
Oh,
Ah,
that just
A
sounds
mountain
terrible.
dwarf that bathes all the time.
Sounds
When
awful.
it's this cold out, that's a problem. Thank you for the sub, Ardwolf Games. Appreciate it.
Hey, I know that person.
Yeah.
Noise.
That
So-
said, Urgon's cabin, if you want to go
Yeah,
check some shit out,
I have a question.
it's like 4 down from me.
Before we go, I have a quick question. He didn't die in there, did he?
Well, I mean,
Like,
yeah, that was
in
that
the
was.
no, inside the cabin
Um,
or like on the property.
I'm sure they've had cleaners go in and clean it up.
Not
You can't
what I'm
clean that
worried
kind of thing
about,
up.
but okay.
Why not? How do
Let
other
me
things get cleaned?
Spirit lingers.
let me think.
I agree with Ash. on
Because
this
he
one.
was fading fast, and he was stuck in his bed, and he was a cantankerous old son of a bitch. As I recall, yeah, he totally succumbed in his bed, with our 2 local clerics, trying to help him out. Yeah, he kicked it there.
I'll take the bed.
Hey, that's the spirit. Good on you, young man.
Am I
I
allowed
fucking
to
love
use
this crew. It's
my
great.
telepathy?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna use my telepathy and just to talk to Ash and just say, "Oh, it's totally gonna be haunted." As much as I don't want to stay there, I can't stay outside. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Because I got the same vibe from him that we weren't a fan of that he died in the house.
Have you used this telepathy on me before?
We're gonna
I
say
mean,
yes.
Okay, all right. No reaction from it. I'm used to it. Maybe I go rigid a little bit as you're talking in my head. I'm just kind of nodding in agreement. My
No,
tail
is
wrapped
Ash
around me a
a
little bit tighter.
is Ash a what flavor of Qatari? Fox, wolf, cat?
More cat.
Okay.
Like the tail would lead me to what I had done up more like a little bit more wolf-like. It's a bushy tail.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
so that's why my hands are able to stay warm in it. But yeah, I was thinking more cat, is the cat ears and everything.
I like it.
Oh God, I have cat ears. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, I can see how that may be maybe a little distressing. It's okay. We burned his blankets.
Okay.
So you're saying we don't have any blankets?
No, just the mattress and whatever you've. Oh shit! Yeah, that would be very uncomfortable. Did you not bring
Right.
any provisions for the road? It's days getting here through the snow.
Can you front us some of that gold there so we can go and get some provisions and get ourselves sorted?
Oh shit, man! I could do you one better than that. And he goes over and he has this wicker basket that looks like it's homemade, made out of like strips of bark, at the foot of his bed, and he starts going through, and it's just like a bunch of crocheted blankets, and there's like 7 of them, and they're all a little musty.
Are
Like
these
they've
all of
been
his
passed
hobbies?
through the generations.
Are you sure this is better?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like everything, if it's homemade and a good stout wool, this is all you need. And he hands you guys 4 big, like thick queen-sized wool blankets, or
Did anyone-
crocheted wool blankets.
Did anyone die in these?
Oh, probably not. No, I've had these in my possession for a long time.
Gonna put it around myself and just.
And it's literally just like those big hole looped crocheted, like
Your toes poke through when you're
Yeah.
trying to like snuggle up. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And they're like a rainbow vomit of colors. He's like, waste not, want not. You use what you have, and it's like it goes from red to blue to gray. But yeah, outside of Urgon's cabin, there's a little lady there named Mila. She's standing guard. She's one of our glass blades. One of the rookies. Just making sure nobody's raiding Ergon's shit.
Now, you've said this a couple of
Yeah,
times.
who would do
the
that?
Glass blades. Is that like your local law enforcement then?
Above board, the glass blades are the what they call guards out of Uthadern. They're basically police force. There's a solid chance that Billy's probably at one point or another either tussled with glass blades at some point and or been conscripted and worked with the glass blades or as a glass blade at some point.
Yeah.
Normally it's sometimes a career thing, but sometimes they're like, we need bodies and you work security.
If they
Right.
pay.
And
Right,
they pay.
yeah, if the money is there, yeah.
Right.
It's fair.
The common thing is like if they're going to have a big proclamation in the center of town, they might conscript 100 local street toughs as deputy glass blades for.
So it's more
a
like
day or two.
Hell's Angels kind of thing.
More. Yeah. I suppose you could,
Kinda.
but there's an actual official nature to the glass blade side of things.
Right,
So
okay, so I know who the glass blades are already.
Yeah, you'd have a good understanding. The
Okay.
thing that strikes you as odd is that there's like probably 5 or 6 of them in this village. That's it.
That's not a lot.
No,
Okay.
No. They are. What do you need protection from? Everybody here's like all ranger business, right? This is the kind of place where, much like, small town bush things, kids learn to shoot early and camp early and all that jazz.
See, if everyone's got a gun, then we're all safer, right? So you need less police force.
And he's
Are
like,
there guns in this universe?
see,
Like-
you all laugh about that, but somebody brought this thing back from Islecross once, cut a building straight in two, and we all just said, fuck it, we're not dealing with those things anymore. And we pulled an Australian and threw it into the ocean. And everybody was like, one massacre is too much. We're done. And everybody in the village was like, yep, all right, fair enough, right then.
I don't know about
Wow.
this weapon regulations, but we'll
Give me
get
a
the
good
job done.
Give me a good solid longbow any day. Short bows for the kids.
All I need's me knucks.
That's fair. It's hard to bludgeon a rabbit to death with brass knuckles if you can't. Like,
It's tenderizing.
he's taking what you're saying at face value. That would be very challenging. You must be very skilled at what you do to not starve to death.
I usually just buy off other trappers, but
Oh, I take back my statement.
Oh.
Then you're terrible at this.
Oh.
I'm not a hunter per se. More like
That's
Well-
apparent.
I really had a big plan on it going around headbutting people, but now I got myself some kick-ass shoes.
That's fair.
Just headbutting a rabbit to death.
Hey,
So-
Thumper, nice to meet you.
Above board, we were doing a bunch of writing over the weekend and just doing like TikToks and stuff. And whoever's monitoring David's internet is probably very confused at this point. And I'm like, does Rohypnol work on birds?
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, man. Can't
We
wait
have
to see the
woodpeckers.
punchline.
No, because they're not real. Sorry, I had to.
Because they're not real.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. That's
Unlike
my
the
favorite
Mothman.
conspiracy theory. Favorite conspiracy theory, and every time someone mentions birds, I have to do it to the point
This
where
is giving
my
me-
friends are like, "Are you okay? Like, is this? You talk about this too much." I'm like, "It's. I don't believe it. It's okay."
You're giving me some Toolgi energy right now.
yeah.
My wife actually met one of the people that formed the Flat Earth Society at a
Oh,
conference
no.
one year.
Oh no.
Yeah. And he's like, it's all bullshit. We just sell t-shirts. Like, it's the whole thing. It's just, we sell
Oh.
merch. It's a business model.
We sell merch.
Well, wait a minute. Sorry. Isn't Exandria flat? Just kidding.
Yeah, okay, look at the map we're looking at. It's
You-
flat.
Just kidding.
Shut your whore mouth.
Oh my god.
It's canon. It's canon in
It is
canon.
Is it
canon.
now?
Well,
It is.
No, the only proponent of
Part of the
that.
FCG.
Never mind, spoilers. So, that said,
Yeah.
he's like, there's a young lady named Mila that's stationed outside Urgon's cabin, just making sure that nobody's dicking around until we can get the lay of the place. I didn't want to go through and like go searching for a will or testament or anything of that nature until your father had arrived. But here we are. Like, this is great.
we are. Not
Yeah.
surprised.
So
Feel
is
free
she-
to use it as you need.
Is she expecting us?
I mean, no, she's probably just standing outside freezing.
So she thinks we're gonna be going up there and just taking the land for herself. She's never met us. Is there
No,
an
but you
order
can-
or something we can give her?
Again, it's like 4 houses down. Like, you could just kind of walk. I'll wave from the porch if you want. Yeah, like that's fine. I got
What
nowhere
is
to
more
be.
official than a wave from the porch?
Yeah,
Obviously.
and I'll just stand in the back and do this, and then she'll murder you. No, I mean, it'll be fine.
Oh wow.
But yeah, feel free for your time here. Use the place as you need to. If there's any supplies that you need within the village, there's a couple of traders kicking around. We get regular supplies from Uthadern and Shady Creek Run. You know, I don't think you'd want for anything, but let me know. Let me know if the blankets aren't sufficient.
Just sunshine and warmth. That's all.
You're about 4 months away from that here. He looks at the roof of his cabin.
Are you looking through it? Or
I mean,
Do we also like look up and
I
see
look
Yeah,
up,
what
is
I'm
there
we
a
got?
calendar written up there?
for sure.
Just clobbered.
Skylight.
no skylight. It's just like a couple well lacquered beams.
Huh.
You know, with everybody's keen adventure eyes, you notice that in each of the corners there's like looks almost like sacks of potatoes, just like stuffed here and there, like just big gunny sacks.
What's with the potatoes? Ready for the famine?
Why are you looking at my potatoes, boy?
Whoa, okay.
You can't just
easy,
go
man.
around and
Still
ask
re-
people why they have potatoes.
In their ceiling.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, are they up there in the like? There's potatoes.
Yeah,
in
they're
this-
like up tucked into the rafters.
All right.
Looking around like this is absolutely a prepper situation. Why are you looking at my ammo stores? Why are you looking at my guns? And as you look, you're like, all right, well, he's got a boatload of food and arrows, lots of arrows, like too many arrows. But if you question about it, he was like, you can never have too many arrows. Yeah.
All right.
Tracks.
Silly man.
Well, okay. Let's head over to the other cabin.
Ergon's cabin?
Ergon's
Yeah.
cabin.
Yeah, Ergon's cabin.
We can like relieve
Um,
Mila of their post or whatever. We can just kind of take charge of that place, hey?
Can we?
Can we?
Yeah, I see no need for authorities to need to be there.
Exactly.
I mean, it probably would go towards building trust if Tulgi's, keeping an eye out to not have the authorities there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
need.
Yeah. We don't want to be with the cops. Not if
No,
we're trying
we're
to
cool.
Spooky. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. All right, let's head over to Aragon's cabin.
Bundling yourselves up, you
I'm not wrapping myself in that dingy
I'm
musk
wrapping
thing.
my
myself in
blanket.
everything.
Yeah, I placed my blanket over May. Here you go.
I'm just a mound of
I'll put
blankets,
I'll
like,
put another one on.
2 black eyes. That's all you see is just
Yeah.
that.
May's just like, you see a faint glitter of the octagonal glasses amidst like a blanket roll. It's just
Yeah.
like, you're just having a time. Finish off your very delicious bone broth tea. Hang those cups up. Set out. And Elrose steps up out onto the porch and like takes 2 or 3 steps out into the cold and realizes he's not wearing his coat, and he's like, fucking cold. Hey! And you see off in the distance, like probably a couple 100 feet just down a path. It's not like row houses or anything. Everything is spaced out a fair bit. You see a really short figure lithe, turn and look and like raise a spear. And he says, "They're coming to look at the cabin! Let them in!" Just raises the spear and he's like, "There you go. Have fun." It'll be
I
a
like
good
cover
time.
my ear. I'm like, Jesus, man, you said you wave.
Well, I mean, like it's cold out. I don't have time for that shit. He turns. He's like, "Good luck. Please make sure that nobody dies who doesn't need dying." Gives you a nod. Goes inside.
Oh.
Door closes, and you hear lock, 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 lock.
Whoa.
Seriously, what was with those potatoes?
I don't think it was potatoes.
You don't think so?
Just a
eh?
hunch. No.
Ooh.
Did you
I
get
don't
a
know,
vibe of
he had that
potatoes
stew
somehow?
going on there. It could have been potatoes. Boil them.
You
You
didn't
can
like
mash
it when you
them.
looked at them, and I
Stick
don't
them
think
in a
people
stew.
I don't think people are
Listen.
that protective of potatoes.
He did look up at the ceiling when he was talking about the sun. Maybe he's trying to grow potatoes in the sack and the roof is some sort of UV energy thing.
You
That could be
know,
We
this
can
week's hobby.
so Cohen wouldn't know this, but May probably would. When you put stuff away for a winter, and in the summertime, or when the frosts leave, that's when you start putting away what you've start planting. Potatoes included. You cut potatoes into quarters and put in fingerlings into the ground. Who knows? Maybe it was it was probably people, but
Oh my god.
People.
dark.
Hmm.
You find yourselves in a blowing, blistering cold.
Fucking
Start
sucks,
walking
dude.
straight towards that cabin.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Question: how well did I know Ergon?
You tell me. So you've met Ergon in person here at least 4 times. What was your
Okay.
relationship like?
We were like the work colleagues you have, where you like only hang out sometimes outside of work, but every time you do, it's like you share good stories, you drink tea.
Yep.
So I'm genuinely sad that he's gone.
It's like you always make plans to hang out, but never do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted
Ergon had delivered you the goods.
Has he? Do I have said goods?
Every time that you've been here, it's because
Yep.
Ergon had delivered you the goods.
Okay.
This time around, you were
I never got a chance to meet with him.
you showed up, and he happened to have been in the state of having a funeral
Of dead. Okay.
of dead.
Rip.
You're not sure if where the goods are going to be, but if they're anywhere, they might be in his house.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
That said, you walk your way down the path, and standing outside a 1-story, 1-room log cabin on the edge of town is a wood elf. Really skinny, bundled up in 2 cloaks. He says, "Oh there. What's Elro need?" Face is just flush. Ears are all wrapped up.
Hi, yes. So we're here to investigate what happened here and potentially put a stop to a maybe pandemic. But we've been given permission to not only investigate the home, but stay in the home.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We don't think we need you.
Yeah, no.
Wait,
If I don't,
are you Mila?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I am.
nice to meet you.
Holds a
Sorry, I
hand out
assumed.
to May. You're the cobalt lady, blue lady, right?
Yeah. I worked in the Cobalt Soul. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you like a couple of summers ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This place is much nicer in the summer. I'm not a fan of it in the winter.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Not built for this.
This is the devil's taint right now. This is, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, if I don't have to
use
stand
those words, but I agree with the sentiment.
Yeah. The only reason I'm here is because somebody like fucking trashed the place. So I mean, you might have to put it back into a state of repair if you're going to stay in it. But you know, it's a little uncharacteristic. Normally, when
somebody trashed it.
Yeah.
After he was dead?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who? Was anyone caught?
No.
When did that happen?
A couple of days ago.
All right. Well, I've got me handy hammer. We can put her back.
It's the only reason why I'm posted here is like normally it's just a place like we don't have to worry about looters or anything like that because you know, we're all pretty good folk around here. But yeah, no, somebody rolled it. So, but yeah, if you're going inside and Elro says that you're good, then who am I to say? You guys have a good time. And she shoots the finger guns. And I'm gonna go and get warm and not be outside anymore because I can't feel my toes. So,
are you actively like looking for any information about who done it? Like if we come across any like
talk to Elro.
Evidence.
I was just asked to make sure that nobody went rooting around inside before. Elro said that he was reaching out to some lord, some or another.
Yes,
and
that was my family.
Yeah, that's us.
It sounds like everything's copacetic then. You guys have this well in hand. Great. Yeah, I'm gonna get inside now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye then.
Stay warm.
Bye.
And before you lies a dark looking cabin. There's no smoke coming out of a chimney. It's a 1-story, looks to be 1-room log cabin on the edge of town. There's a wooden door there made out of 4 wide wooden planks in that Z shape that you see on stereotypical like bush cabins. Lots of moss growing through the roof, almost like they had one of those goat roofs that you see with just like the staggered moss on the roof, crops, all that jazz. And a large wooden handle for the door.
Will somebody get the door?
I'll kick it in.
We're guests. What are you
Wham!
doing?
And
Well, it's ours now, right?
it reasonably
it's not
holds.
ours. We're just staying here.
Well, is the owner coming back? Well,
He
then
might.
it's ours, isn't it?
Billy,
What? Fine.
you feed it a boot and it doesn't move.
Oh, playing hard to get, are we? I pull out the hammer. Well, is anyone sensible want to have a go at the lock then?
Is it locked, or can I just go and open it? Like,
Turn the door.
Hermé reaches
handle.
a ribbity finger past you and pulls on the wooden latch that is holding the thing shut. And the door swings open. And the reason that your
Oh,
boots
look.
didn't work, as you look at the door frame, the frame is like a half a foot thick. And the door latch that goes into it is about a half a foot thick.
This town's a little bit paranoid, aren't they?
You're fairly confident, and you saw this with the with Elrose Place as well.
Elrose
This
Place.
is this is intended to keep out bears. Never mind you. The locking mechanism or the latch is super simple. There's not even a physical lock on it. It's just like a physical barricade of a door. Think like Dick Prenick's cabin kind of deal.
Yeah.
Braun doesn't
What
get you
handle
far.
is it? Is it just like where you push the like little latch down and push
No,
in?
it's a big chunk of like driftwood that when you pull the latch, it physically moves a chunk of wood up like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like raptors can't get in.
I mean, they probably could.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
wondering.
You just got to be smart enough to know how a door latch works. It's a thing. It happens.
All right,
But
so
as you, it swings inward into a dark space. Can anybody
can I do
see
a
in the
thing?
dark?
Can I just press digitation to illuminate the room?
You know what? Yeah. As you kind of like hopping from one foot to another a little. What does it look like when May uses magic?
When I cast magic, so
Yep.
I'm looking as we can see that it's dark. I'm rifling through I have a little pouch on one of my belts, and I pull out what looks to be like they look like tarot cards, but if you look closer at them, they are like homemade, very neatly drawn, colored beautifully with just the most amazing color palette of crayons you've ever seen.
Mhm.
And they each, so as she pulls one out and you see her put it in her hands like this, and she kind of looks down, and as she does this, the card goes, like the card disappears and the
Yep.
whole room lights up.
Out in front of you, sitting on a shelf, just like worked into a wall, there's a glass lantern, like an oil lantern, that you see that. What color is your magic?
Like a lavendery blue, or not, like a bluey purpley kind of.
Yeah, you see that faint lavender sort of mote shoot out from in front of May, and it lights a small lantern, and it lights a candle at the far back end of a room, and it goes to light something in the fireplace, and it just like wisps out for a second. It does not light the fireplace, but you start to see some illumination come through as you step inside and take in the space. This is a cramped, dark cabin. It might have been cozy when its owner was alive, but there's an unmade bed that stands near a cold fireplace with a bunch of just shit piled into it. On the mantle above the fireplace, there's the head of some snarling white beast with gray horns. On the other side of the room, there's a small table that's just strewn with dirty dishes. There's a bunch of dwarven-sized chairs, 3, in fact, and a couple of empty shelves whose contents are just scattered across the floor at this point. Kitchen utensils, like dried foodstuffs, spices, a boatload of adventuring gear, and a couple of books. And it is faintly illuminated and cold in here.
Is anybody good at making fires? I suggest that be the first place we start.
I can definitely make us a fire.
No roll necessary on this, Billy. It is a simple daily task.
Mhm.
As you go over,
I just pull out a Molotov cocktail and throw it into the fireplace.
light it.
It's aggressive.
Oh, is that how you do it?
That's how I do it.
Oh, that's
That's
effective.
so much easier than I thought it would be.
Significantly more expensive. I like it.
How many
Usually
of
the
those do you
Flinty
have?
Striker works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
but
many
I
of those
mean,
do you have?
that was me last one.
Oh,
Yeah,
and that's how we're okay.
I can make more. It's easy. It's not
Oh, can you-
not a very expensive thing. I mean,
you
it's just a
teach me
little
one day?
bit of ale. I mean, like really hard liquor, rather. the bottle that came in and the piece of my shorts.
You just slowly giving up more and more shorts as the adventure
They
goes
pants at
on.
Started
one
off as
point.
jeans, and
Yeah.
now they're jorts.
Why do you think I got all these patches? What do you think I do with the strips of fabric under them, eh?
I like it. It's hard to tell where the jort ends and the Billy the Goat begins.
It's right around the Misfits patch.
I like it.
As you take
in, there's a fire. Everything is still cold. It'll take a little while for the stone to warm up to start heating the surrounding area. There's some billow of smoke that you cough a little. This is a call it a 12 by 20 foot space. Longer than the average, Canadian bedroom kind of deal, but about a similar dimension, just longer. Taking it in, this place has been rolled. There's a bunch of stuff knocked off shelves, where there would have been wicker baskets and foot lockers. They're upended and tilted over onto the floor. They look like they've been hastily shaken out onto the ground. There's clothing strewn everywhere. There's a what looks like a grass bed, like a grass mattress, still sitting on a willow bed frame. But all of the bedding itself has been stripped away and taken. Elro alluded to that in burning down the things that he died in.
Right.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
First, I'm gonna look towards May and ask, would he have anything worth stealing here? What? You knew him. Does he keep stuff like?
He just died.
That's not. I meant by the people tossing here. I wouldn't take anything.
died.
As I drop the 3 utensils in my hand.
We've been over this. There's a time
I'm
and a
asking
place to steal.
If someone would steal from him, why would they toss his place like this?
I don't know. He's only I've met up with him to just share some scrolls and tomes. I didn't think he would be into anything lucrative or nefarious by any means.
Are you saying tomes and scrolls aren't lucrative?
Well, no,
And
a lot of
somewhat
them are
nefarious sometimes.
not these ones. These ones are just more like history of Exandria and things like that. The people, there's resources that I would need for the Cobalt Soul or things that he would need. But I was supposed to get a book from him, and I'm gonna look around and see if there's books on the ground. But is there anything that's standing out to me that I see around?
This seems like a roll. Let's go. Yeah, let's go with knowledge on this one.
Knowledge. Okay.
Actually, instinct. We'll go instinct.
I liked knowledge better.
I know.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say you probably don't have any experiences that play into this one.
No.
So 2d12 plus 1.
You're looking specifically for a book, you were saying?
Yeah.
Just this is
16.
your D&D perception check, but
Yeah, 16.
with
No.
With no. Or
With
giving him a
nothing. It's
fear.
just a 16 with fear.
that's 3 fear. I like it.
I know. I'm sorry. This
No,
triple
this is
dice.
great. This just means that I have extra things to use.
I don't like that.
against you. That's fine.
Or for us,
Or for you.
if you want to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well-
providing you experience. That's all.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how that works. That's actually pretty good. You notice a couple of things. Strewn all over the floor is his adventuring equipment. Most of it's sized for a dwarf, but could totally be used in a number of different applications. There's a suit of splint mail, a silvered maul. And May, you know that silver is used in very specific applications for certain denizens and creatures when fighting them. Ergon probably had a reason for carrying it at some point. Maybe he came across something at some point that a regular weapon didn't do so well against, but that this big two-handed hammer that he carries, or used to, has faint silvery markings all over it.
Okay.
There's bulky fur-lined clothing everywhere, grappling hooks, lots of rope and grappling hooks, and then a handful of hooded lanterns. The one that you lit and a couple others that are just back and tucked away.
Okay, and then the books that were on the ground, I'm gonna just like start picking them up and putting them back on the shelf as I'm trying to clean. Or do any of those stand out to me?
They do. As you start leafing through one of those books, the majority of them, like, they're smut. It's just, it's a whole lot of smut.
Not a lot to do. in there.
Ergon, you hound you.
I know
You
that
horny little guy.
not a side of him that I have ever thought existed, and I'm just gonna put them up, but then I'm just gonna take one and just pocket it.
Lonely Nights in Palebank.
I like it.
Ooh, it's a first edition.
Used as a bookmark in one of these.
No.
Is a receipt, a folded piece of paper. It's dated for about 2 months ago by your recollection, and may keeps a pretty good understanding. And it indicates that Ergon sold a bunch of stuff that they found in Islecross to Pelk's Curiosities, and he received about 1,000 gold pieces for his efforts. Those items are listed as a dagger, a scroll case, a jade statuette, a quiver of arrows, a silver ring, and 2 blue glass vials. Underneath, it says book for H, and then it's got a question mark.
Like, was that written by?
It's written in the same hand.
Okay, so
The question mark is written in a different hand.
okay.
Could I be like trying to find stuff that I can be like mending and trying to put stuff back together just using my...
Are you
like,
just basically like writing the place?
Yeah, just trying to like using my builder background.
Absolutely.
Just trying to square off some stuff and try to fix any damage that would have been caused by the run through.
And not even needing a roll in this case. It's one of those things. Like, it's not a challenge to set furniture straight. What I will give you is, if you want to roll, in your case, this is going to be a knowledge roll.
Oh,
and you could totally leverage builder in this.
all right.
Making sure that if you're going to be staying here for a while, you need to make sure that this place is sound. And you're going to have to do some analysis on the building itself.
Yeah.
See what needs doing. It's less smashing and grabbing and more of a like, that roof's
So
good or bad or ugly.
I'll subtract a hope.
Yep.
And then
So
use
you
my
burn a hope
builder?
if you want to add your builder experience to it.
So that brings me to 2.
Yes.
Okay, and then I roll my 2d12. What?
Knowledge should be a 0 for you, I think.
Yep.
And builder is +1.
Yeah, so I've got a 9 with hope.
Okay. You're looking around and you're kind of setting things in order, and this place is really small and it's really cold. You're not seeing any like daylight come through because it's dark outside. And that fire really needs tending to because the smoke's just billowing in. And you're like, maybe the chimney stopped up. Having a hard time. That was
Not a great roll.
not a successful roll.
That's fair.
Yeah. That said, The receipt that you find a couple of things as you guys are going through this. Ash, you specifically, as May's picking up these books and like leafing through, and it's like ribbit eyes go wide and they hold a book to their chest for a second and tuck it away.
Why, I never.
Fun fact: ribbits can
Fanning
blush.
herself.
Ribbits can blush. Cohen, you're looking around and like that chair over there seems reasonably not filthy.
Just gonna like give it a little rub down with my cloak before I sit down and watch them do the work.
Yeah. Ash.
Just before you like hit the chair, I think that I think Billy would notice that you were like looking for a place and about to sit down and discuss, and he would just whip off his jacket real quick and like chuck it across the room and try to get it to land where you're about to sit.
That sounds roll worthy. I like this.
Oh, sweet.
Let's call this
Gentlemen.
This is absolutely a charm check. This is less about
Okay.
physical dexterity and more about
Okay.
like being super fucking charming.
Just look good.
Show off.
All right, well, he's not so good at it, but cold nights and such.
You know what? This seems like some soccer hooligan shit to me.
All right,
This
sure.
is exactly the kind of like barroom antics that
Yeah.
a hooligan would pull.
So I'll burn. Yeah, exactly. He would. Yeah, it's not about being charming so much as being brave.
Yeah.
And actually, I've got. No. Like Call of the Brave. Once per long rest before you attempt something incredibly dangerous. Or no, never mind. Okay.
Incredibly dangerous.
It's
So
not incredibly
dangerous.
Let's not call it. Let's not go there. So it would be a 16 with fear.
I love it. That seems successful to me.
All right.
To 4.
Ugh.
Yeah, it lands perfectly, coating this chair, and it is now you have a slightly less filthy thing to sit on.
I have a quick question. So,
Shoot.
like, Ergon was a dwarf. Well, yeah, he was a dwarf, right?
Yep.
Is like he's dead.
You
But,
gotta
like,
start thinking in the
Aren't
past.
all of you guys are like you're tall creatures, are you not?
Yep.
So like everything in here is perfectly
No,
like May
just-
sized. So
Yeah,
like
Like,
I'm the
I'm
only one
probably a
that's
little
like,
bit
I'm
taller
living
than you, but
I'm
not
living
by
my
much.
best life because I'm like 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
So like everything in here is like ribbit sized.
Everything is like
It's like my
dwarf-sized
dream.
chairs and a dwarf-sized bed. Dwarf-sized eating utensils.
I feel like Billy is like 5'8".
Yeah.
Not super tall, but short.
Ash, as everybody's going about this, and you're like, yeah, this place was definitely rolled. Like, you see the signs. You like, they came in, they started there, they didn't light anything. They worked their way along the left wall. There's a bunch of shit in the fire that probably put there out of frustration more so than like trying to like get rid of evidence. And it leads you to look around. This place has one window and it's out on the back side of the cabin. And it's like 4x4 planks. And as May's fiddling with a book and Billy's writing the place and chucking coats, and you're just like tenderly walking through and like you recognize all of this. You know what happened here. There's no roll necessary because you steal things professionally for a living and or stab people.
As rogues.
Because rogues. You lean out and push back the shutters of that back window, and you see 2 stubby, thick boots, leaving boot prints that go off into the snow, out into the woods, and 1 foot drags a little bit in their footfalls.
Okay. Kind of. May's been here before, like this area before, so I'm gonna ask, May, does anyone around here limp? Like a very noticeable limp?
She's ready to go.
Put the smut down.
No, this one is a history one. I put the smut on the shelf. Thank you. And it's romance. How dare you? And so I put the books, close the books, whatever. I've only ever seen a few of the people just in passing. Would I know if anyone has a limp? Because I've only been here.
Listen, I've already figured out everything. See, there was this game that we used to play back in the city, where you would be detectives and have to guess who murdered who in what room. I was an expert. The key was to guess it right on the first try. And so, ready for this? He said that Tulgi had a limp. Tulgi probably came in here, robbed something that maybe, was the cause of his curse, and now she has it, and she's over in her cabin, thinking she got away with this theft, but really she just picked up whatever disease he had.
Do you think it's a disease, or do you think it's like there was a physical object that's like a curse?
Oh,
Like, what kind of curse?
If nobody else is getting the disease, if it's not like spreading to other people, which we don't believe it is, maybe it's an actual physical item. I've read a lot of things about items that can be cursed, and if it passes from one hand to the next, or somebody takes it, that it will continue to pass that curse along.
Definitely. Either way, we need to find Tulgi, find out what she took, and get rid of it, and then get rid of her.
And then
Also,
get paid.
question. Cohen, your father knows we're here?
No.
Okay, because I was really confused as Elra was talking to you about you coming here, and then your father, and then we were here on other business. So, what, like, is there a story we should have if people ask, like, why we're here or what's going on?
If they ask, then we are definitely here because my father sent us.
And that's it.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not very good at lying. I'll do my best, but I just needed to know what I should say.
On that note, like, what's your dad's name?
Alexander.
Right. All right.
Billy, you're absolutely familiar because you tried to rob him. You and Ash, you got caught.
Oh no.
And now you're mine.
And
no.
This is your punishment.
You're on community service at this point.
Right.
That's what led you to this place in the first place.
Right. I forgot.
That
His name
person,
wasn't so much as important as his stuff, though, was it?
Yeah. Sorry, you didn't try and rob him. You tried to rob what was his. Totally a thing. Maybe a job gone wrong.
So wrong.
Ash, you hear Cohen's hypothetical, and you look out the window, and a couple of things occur to you. Ergon has been dead a week at this point, and those tracks in the snow can't be more than 2 days old. Like it's reasonably well covered, and you can still notice where they lead. Like you could absolutely follow them should you desire. So something doesn't add up in like Ergon was probably dead by the time that presumably Tulgi came and rolled this place.
Yeah, but Tulgi only got sick that they noticed yesterday, right?
Days ago.
It was a couple of days ago that Elro had first noticed that Tulgi had
it.
But Ergon was sick for months.
After
Is there a date on that receipt?
Yes.
I'm gonna look at it, but my little frog brain is exploding, and I'm gonna look over at Cohen and just say, he was on a trip, and he got back a couple of months ago. So maybe there's something he got on that trip that he brought with him, a physical item, if it is a curse.
That receipt is dated from 2 months ago. That he sold all of these things to Pelk's curiosities here in town.
Wants to bet
gold?
Tulgi works for Pelk's Curiosities.
Who
I mean,
knows?
if he sold all the stuff, though, then it's the gold that he got. Is the gold cursed?
Or he kept something for himself. Or maybe she picked it up at the Curiosities and then realized it was messed up somehow and then came here to find out if he had any journals or information what it was.
Well, I'm going to hold up the receipt. Well, he sold a dagger, a jade statue,
Obviously sus.
two
Red
blue
flags right
glass,
there.
two blue.
Everyone
glass
knows
vials.
statues are cursed.
The vials as well, blue like the ice, the veins.
Yeah.
Oh.
A scroll
Are they-
case, a silver
Yeah.
ring. Is that
Maybe.
it? Did I get it all or no?
And
It's
then
all
2
sus.
blue glass vials. And then a book
Yeah,
for
I-
H.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to conveniently leave that part out.
Oh,
That's
Bless you.
Sorry.
So, with that running through your heads and needing to decide what to do next, we're going to go to break because it's almost 8 o'clock and everybody needs a
Nice.
chance to stretch and pee and all that jazz. So, we're going to be back in about, why don't we say 8 minutes? We can
Yeah.
come back right for 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. That sounds
That
good.
work for everybody?
Boom.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yep.
Beautiful. All right, back in 8 minutes, and
Blah.
we'll get this underway and see if we
We'll be
can't
back.
find a thief. See you soon.
We've already got a thief.
1. Hello, everybody. And we're
Sup?
back. Sup. We are suitably drained and watered. And
Mostly.
this is not water, so it's a good time.
Hey,
A friend of mine made this, and it's delicious. I do have to ask, because Danny and Amanda, you didn't make it to our Logomancy hangout here a couple of weeks back. Do you have a penchant for spicy things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a scale from 0 to 10, how spicy are we thinking?
Dr. Ramshackle's old time juice that makes you explode.
Don't do it.
Oh,
Don't do it.
I don't. Maybe not.
like
It's a good time.
it really depends on the spice for me because like in January I did my Danniversary stream for my 3-year Twitch anniversary, and I had gotten one of the spicy gummy worm things. I mean, it's not a one chip, but it started off, the jalapeno wasn't bad, the habanero was good, the ghost pepper wasn't great, the Carolina Reaper killed me.
So, so far, a couple of folks from our crew have been videotaping recording themselves and putting it on the internet, drinking some of Dr. Ramshackle's old-fashioned juice that makes you explode. And it's Everclear grain alcohol. So spicy, it's a bigger regret than anything else you've ever done in your life. It's a something.
I don't
And
know.
this
I've
has
done a lot
gotten-
of things I regret in my life.
And this has gotten worse since like the original that you used to make like a decade ago when you
Yeah,
started doing this.
This is
that, like-
significantly worse than the stuff I brought to your wedding in Mexico.
Well, but even the stuff like I remember the first time years and years ago camping, and like you gave it to my dad. And he was like laid out the entire, like he was down for the count for the
no.
day from like one shot. It was bad. And then in Mexico, yeah, he's trying to give it to everybody.
It's good.
Okay.
So it's the original stuff was Everclear and Trinidad Maruga scorpion peppers. This stuff is
What?
Everclear with a dozen Carolina Reapers, a dozen ice cream vanilla scorpion peppers, a dozen cherry ghost peppers, a dozen orange habaneros, and then some vanilla beans to give it a little bit of like
Vanilla bean.
Because
smoothness.
Everclear doesn't have enough of a burn that you
Yeah.
need more.
It doesn't
Right.
have a taste. It smells wonderful. It smells like vanilla. It smells absolutely great. And it's got some zip. I'll give it that.
Okay. So my question is, which burns more, going in or coming out?
It doesn't
Yes.
transfer.
Oh, okay.
Most of those spicy things transfer because it's leaches into oils, like spicy Indian food, that sort of thing. And it's the oil that doesn't get digested properly, goes all the way through you.
Perfect.
This
I
just
love-
hurts going in.
I love the comment in the Twitch chat that says, so spicy, it's a bigger regret than anything else you've done with your life.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Says the person who hasn't tried it.
hey Carly, you're gonna get a chance to try it this weekend. It's okay.
No.
A
I know
chance
better.
to try it.
I tried the original stuff. I did hot ones with you. I did the entire hot ones lineup
We
with
should
you.
put that on the internet.
Oh no. We should do it again.
Please
Let's do it
Agreed.
again.
All right.
do it.
That said, Brian had to step away for a little bit. He's dealing with some had some guests come over. We're gonna jump back into it with spicy thoughts warming you inside and frigid cold weather blowing outside. Ash, you are fairly certain, based on Cohen's comment, that could absolutely have been made by a dwarf with a limp. There, the pacing is without rhythm, and it looks like one side drags a little more than the other. And it seems to be heading off towards the edge of the village where Elro had. I keep wanting to call him Elmo because I'm a dad.
I
But-
mean, just do it.
Fair adventure for me, please.
No, thank you.
Shannon, please, yes.
Do it,
Done.
bitches. No. Elmer says make him burn. No. Almost. So close to doing that. But yeah,
Emma, what's with the potatoes?
Emma, cut you. It absolutely like adds up. A couple of things hit your consciousness. You've fenced a bunch of stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
So Ergon had come back about 2 months ago, had a bunch of shit from Islecross, sold those artifacts out to Pelk's Curiosities, and started getting sick. Died. Took about 2 months or so to succumb and die. Tulgi first started showing signs a couple of days ago. They must have the guard outside said that this place was hit 2 days ago, specifically. And they seem to have the same infliction that Ergon had. What do you guys want to do? You're finally warm.
Well, so if this is just to everybody, if we think that Tulgi took something, do we think that she bought it from Pilks, or do we think that she stole it? Because an easy way to figure that out is if we went into Pilks and we saw that like they were okay. Because theoretically, if they had the item that was cursed or illnessed or whatever, then they would go and they would have symptoms too, wouldn't they?
Maybe.
It depends on what is considered owning an item to get.
Yeah, like
that's assuming you know what this curse is, right?
well, but I'm assuming like in small towns. What?
Okay, no, sorry. I just go ahead, finish your thought.
No, what? I want to know what you were gonna say. You seem to have like an epiphany.
Yeah. So you guys that was a great thought that if he had taken an item and sold it to this merchant, trader, whatever it is, wouldn't they too have the symptoms, unless it's not a contact curse or a contact illness? Those vials, maybe they're some sort of edible, injectable type thing, and that's what happened. But you know what? There's only one way to find out. We can either go and ask Tulgi herself, but you know, we have been told she's a little off-putting towards strangers, putting the strangers off completely. We could just perhaps go to that merchant tomorrow and ask them what of those items had been purchased and by who. And that way, when we go and eventually interrogate her, we'll say, hey, we already know that you took either the jade statue or those vials, because those are the sus items.
Well, and I do think that if we talk to the merchant, then maybe they'll be able to tell us like if any of them had, I'm trying to think of a more academic way to say this, but like bad vibes, weird energy. If something is a curse, then it would feel different, right?
Would it?
I'd like to think that most items feel a bit different if they have like a negative energy to them, but in my experience, I've picked up tomes where I don't even want to read them because they just, something doesn't feel right, and I'll put them back. And that's very rare for me to put any of them back because I read everything I can get my hands on. But I don't know. It wouldn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
I do think Pelks is the best idea here.
Mm-hmm.
I should clarify, Carly, what is the number you've picked for your strange patterns?
What?
For my strange patterns.
So as a wizard, your strange patterns ability, you pick a number between 1 and 12. And anytime you roll one of those,
Okay.
so say you pick a 6, anytime you roll a 6, you gain a hope or clear a stress.
I was going to do 9.
9. All right, perfect. Excellent. You hear a faint clattering as Billy has set up a large cast iron pot hanging off of a kind of worn iron rod embedded in the stone of one of the walls, and is throwing chunks of water and ice from a barrel outside in, and is starting to warm something up. May you start feeling almost immediately better as the steam starts rolling into this place. Just the moisture and the humidity makes it a little more comfortable and livable. Dry skin's a bitch when you're a frog person.
I'm gonna just take off like 2 of the blankets.
Yeah.
I still have a blanket and a cloak, but there's just now 2 are off.
Yeah. It's reasonably comfortable in here at this point. And again, Billy said he was setting about righting the place. There's certain little things that are put back on shelves. The armor, the maul, the adventuring gear, all just gets picked up and shoved back into what looks like a suitably sized footlocker that goes at the end of that small bed. And he lays one of the he called the bed earlier. He lays one of the crocheted blankets down onto it and just like flumps down onto it and puts his hooves up in the air.
Is there a couch or anything that might have any pillows?
There's a carved wooden chair that has a bunch of those, like, you put the cushion on and you tie the little like strands at the back, and it's got like a bunch of wooden carved beads that kind of back massage you as you lay into it. Yeah, it's a terribly uncomfortable chair, but
And that's it. There's nothing else.
yeah, he's got a lounge chair, his bed, and then 3 like basic stool like kitchen chairs around a table. Looks like he probably entertained from time to time, and you have been in this place before. You've sat at this table and slept on his floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Ergon
when I was
one for drinking. Maybe you not so much, but
and I haven't found the book that he was supposed the tome that I was looking for. Okay.
You go through. There's a handful of books here that can either be neatly arranged back on the shelf from which
Yeah,
they came.
I put them like I've been looking through them, putting them back up as I flip through them.
Yeah. There's the one that you found the receipt in, which was just straight up smut.
Yeah, that's in my backpack now.
Yeah.
But, like, no one saw it. Just discreetly put it in there.
I totally called you out on it.
The book
Okay,
itself
one person saw it.
It's called Adventure Sexy, Impress Potential Lovers with Great Deeds by Scanlan Shorthalt.
Wow.
My guy.
Yeah. Literally written in here. It's a thing. But no, the other books are there's a handful of pieces of fiction. Think your Canterbury Tales kind of deals.
Okay.
But for Exandria. The kind of thing that you could leaf through that has, 100 or 101 like Arabian Nights kind of thing, that you could read again and again. Fables. There's a couple of things that are handwritten. There's a couple of things that are like reference materials, identifying these kinds of plants and those kinds of plants, or like one of them's an old, it's a Dwendalian cookbook, and there's a bunch of annotations in it where it's like, obviously this sucks. This is like just literally Germanic food that has no seasoning to it. Add seasoning and spice to everything.
Needs more salt.
Needs more everything. Needs less potato and onion. The handwritten ones are a little strange.
Do I recognize the
So it's written in Dwarven, and technically speaking, we don't. Daggerheart doesn't really make a big bones about languages.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me, is Dwarven something that May would have learned at any point?
I feel like,
You have a dictionary for it.
well, I work in the Cobalt Soul, and I read everything I come across. I feel like I would know a few languages. I don't know if Dwarven would be one of them. I might recognize some words. I might not be
Okay.
fluent, but I might recognize some words.
Well, let's say it's one of the older languages, root languages, along with Elven, Primordial, Draconic, those sorts of things. So we'll say yeah. You can you get by. It's like reading high school French, right? You can kind of make your way through it, barely. Just barely.
Is there the words "I am a pineapple" somewhere in the story?
Where's the
Fermez la bouche.
library?
Je suis une ananas.
Yeah, you start flipping through, and some of it looks like he tried to diary and journal, and then got bored of it, and then skipped a couple of pages, and then it's just like a grocery list, and then skipped a couple of pages, and it's like drawings for a new chair, and skipped a couple of pages, and it's just like reminder to take this next time I go kind of thing. It became a canonically dwarves speak with a French accent now. I love it.
All dwarves are French.
All dwarves are French. And yeah, you start flipping your way through. And one of the pages in his journal stands out to you. Because it's not the same kind of paper. It's a little yellowish.
Okay. Does it, and it's not, is it in the book or is it just like an insert?
It's in the book, and if you hadn't like you're flipping through, one page is a different color from all the others.
I'm gonna take the journal and I'm gonna keep it, I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it, and then I'm gonna take the one by Scanlan that I was like looking at that's not a romance, it's more smut, and I wanted a romance novel. And I'm gonna put it on the shelf.
I mean, it plays out that way.
Does it though?
Yeah, it's something.
I don't know. I've heard about this Scanlan fellow. I don't know. Seems a little
You
too.
look back, the book's already gone.
All right. Let's kind of just close the gap and pretend nothing happened.
Would you like to interact with that page at all?
I don't know what to do. What do I do with my hands? What I don't know. Thank you for getting my jokes. I appreciate it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
What do I do? I don't know what sorry. Okay.
May has found something that stands out to them that is potentially magical in nature. What would May do in this instance?
She would try to like see if she can sense anything from it. I don't know. I'm like looking at because like I'm so used to D&D where you give your spells if you can like detect things or whatever, right? But I'm definitely gonna like try to investigate it and like hold it up to the light or like rub my hands on it, like if it's like if I can warm up the paper, if like I'll see something. Like if there's lemon juice, go full national treasure and
All right.
I'm joking. I'm not going to wreck it. I
Is this thing on?
Go ahead and roll me an analyze check. And your magical historian absolutely comes into play if you'd like to add that bonus by marking.
Okay, so, but I also have a great staff that's also a +2 in knowledge. So it should technically be +4?
No, the great staff just uses your knowledge stat of +2 when you attack. Yeah.
I was hoping that it gave me more knowledge. It's a staff.
It's just a staff.
Isn't that how magic works?
Yeah, right?
I just get it all.
Okay, so knowledge. Oh, be better. Not better.
Oh no.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'll get new dice. Okay,
Are
I'm
you
so sorry.
giving him another fear?
I will get new dice. I will buy new dice. To my husband who's watching this, I have to buy new dice. These rolls are trash.
Yeah, it's how it goes.
12 with fear.
Oh no.
I had an 8 and a 2 +2.
You open this, And you take your ribbit tongue, and you go to flip the page, and the page flips in the wrong direction, and flips again, and flips again, and flips again, and flips again, and flips again.
Oh, so it's okay.
So the page opens and then folds over again and again and again and again and again until it, attached to the end of the book, is something. It looks like a piece of paper about 6 feet long that can still be unfolded.
What did you do with that book over there?
I don't know. This is one of Ergon's journals, and there's a lot of weird thoughts in here, and a grocery list and some schematics or blueprints for a chair. But this page is different than all the others, and I thought maybe there's something special about it. So I looked, and it opened, and then it can still open more.
It's like unfolding a map, and then you like find the edge and you unfurl it even more. And it
Does
folds
it come out of the? I'm going to keep folding it as much as I can. Like I'll like start at one end of the cabin and go all the way as much as I can.
It unfurls into a 10-foot by 10-foot sheet of canvas.
Ash.
Looks like a big tarp.
Can you come
I don't know how I can help you.
No, just grab one. We're gonna do this. We're gonna open it up. We're gonna push everything out of the way.
Grab the ends. It shimmers with this rainbow color.
Oh, that's cool.
And you whip it like a parachute in a elementary school. And as you whip it up, you look in, and there's a big hole in the ground where it was laying. Just extra dimensionally going down, and there's gunny sacks down there, like canvas sacks.
Did we just find a magical hole?
You found a portable hole. Yeah. You can thank SS Manders 85 for boosting treasure in chat. That gives you guys a magical item.
Yeah.
MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So I'm just.
Essentially,
do you guys know what this is?
No.
I think you found any bodies we can put. Yeah, I mean, yes, I know exactly what it is.
No. So I've only ever read about these. This is magnificent. So we open this up, and it's like, think of a bag of holding, but like bigger. And I'm pretty sure if we go in it, we might die if we close it up.
So let me describe this. So you step down 3 yellowish looking stone steps into this place. And above you is a dome that looks like a big rainbow parachute that is above your heads. But to the people outside, it looks like it's a flat cloth laying on the ground. You've absolutely like stepped into a room. And as they lift up the cloth, it looks like somebody's lifting up like part of the parachute off the floor. It's bigger on the inside.
Do you guys want to we have to go in, right?
No.
Like I'm nervous.
You just told me I could die if I go in there.
I think it's only if we close it up. I've only ever heard of people dying if it's closed up. But
listen, if I learned anything from my father's military teaching is that you don't go into holes that you don't know.
But this hole comes with stairs.
He might have been talking about it. Never mind.
This one has stairs. It's
Let me
inviting
tell you
us.
the story of how your brother was made.
That's why we don't go into dark holes.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take off the last blanket that I had on, so I just have my cloak now. And my little ribbit footers are just gonna go down.
Down these.
As you're heading down, I hand you the end of the yarn I took from the other place.
Okay, I'm gonna take it, just like tie it around my waist. All right, good.
The yarn pulls 3 feet and then stops. As May has stepped 3 feet into the hole and stopped moving.
She's dead.
The line goes slack. It's severed. No. There's about a dozen like canvas sacks down here. They all seem to be bulging and full. There's a couple barrels down here.
You guys, there's so many potatoes.
As you open them, there are indeed like sacks and sacks of tubers. There's glass jars of meat, like proper canning technique,
There's
storing
pressure
stuff.
canned.
Yeah,
Okay.
same kind of
Second.
idea. A bunch
No one wants
of
botulism.
yeah,
No.
like there's a bunch of like sealed wax cubes that you're pretty sure are like maybe they're cheeses, maybe they're something, but like it's a thing that in this technology level you recognize. A bunch of wooden barrels that are you're fairly confident alcohol of some kind, maybe water. There's a bunch of blankets and bedrolls, and a small lockbox over in one corner that is indeed locked with a nice padlock on it.
Okay, so May, seeing this, is beelining to the blankets and the warm things first.
Yep.
She's gonna grab these and she's gonna just start going back up the steps.
It's
And
not
you're just
that
gonna
cold in here.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not built for this. I'm gonna throw like you're just gonna see like blankets get thrown out of the hole. And then a little like 2 little frog eyes. Hey.
Come out of the floor.
You guys get down here now. And then poof back down.
And as it goes down, it just looks like a sheet of like a tarp just laying flat on the floor again.
Gingerly take a step forward, like making sure I can feel something. I'm like jumping in things I can't see the.
Yeah.
I'm tugging on the string. Like, come on.
Now, again, dimension-wise, this whole thing is 10 foot by 10 foot. It's a square. It's the vertical aspect that feels bigger. Because it feels like you're only stepping down 2 or 3 feet, but it's clearly big enough to stand up in.
Do I feel the tugging of the cheese trying to tug me down?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just let myself go. I'll land on my feet. I'm a cat.
Yep. Pick the thing up and step forward, and you step down 3 stone steps into a much larger, reasonably temperatured room.
How cool is this?
I take a real deep breath to make sure I can still breathe down here.
Yeah.
I told you it's fine. I've read about it. It's okay. But like, looking at some of these sacks. I'm pretty sure that those barrels might be alcohol. I don't know. I'm not really that big of a drinker. But there's like food and other like we have a whole lot of resources here that nobody knows about. And I know we're supposed to wait because there's a will and they're going to give it to the village, but if there's things in here we could use to help solve this, I feel like the village might want us to use some of them, not all of them. I don't want to be greedy.
I'm nodding and slowly making my way over to the locked chest I saw as I stepped out. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
What did you find? What did you see?
Nothing. I mean, you would have saw it too.
May,
I
you
agree.
specifically notice on the barrels, there's runes imprinted on the top of each of them. One says water, one says fire, one says water, one says fire.
So the fire one is like alcohol?
Who knows? Maybe it burns. Maybe it doesn't.
Molotov cocktail.
Got to give it a try. Oh, laying on the bed, Billy is just like, that's fucked up.
Billy, get down here.
I'm good. Somebody's got to pull you out of it when it explodes.
He's gonna
I would have come
explode.
down.
Cohen, get down here.
Yeah, I'm coming. You said wine, maybe?
Well, I don't know. What does fire mean? Like, I know what fire means, but in a barrel context.
Do I recognize any fancy wineries that have a fire emblem
Like
on it?
Fire whiskey or something.
It's a really good tactical turn-based RPG system for fire emblems. No, they you come in. Cohen, you are 100% confident that is an entire barrel. Like several of these barrels, 3 water and 3 fire. They're probably 50 gallons a pop. Like these are rain barrels. Every one of those barrels that isn't marked water is full of whiskey.
Oh. Yeah, that's
What?
whiskey.
Over. Billy, We have whiskey down here.
You hear a clomp hit the floor.
That would do
What's this now? I've got a bottle opener.
Well, this is
You got a crowbar?
Sure, we'll call it that.
Whoa.
He comes in and he's, that's all right. Cool. Where's the whiskey?
Barrels.
I'm gonna show you a neat trick. And he goes to hug the barrel, and he lays his head on it, and he turns his head to like drive his horn from one of his. He's got like ram horns, and he drags it along the wood for a second. And goes, and it cracks his neck, and the top of it just like pulls back, and there's a ripping of wood, and there's some splinters that are now floating in this vibrant orange and brown liquid. Got a cup?
no, but there was some upstairs.
All right then. And he goes back up. Ash,
Yes.
you were availing yourself of someone's possessions.
I mean, it's just interesting that
Oh yeah.
he'd hide it in this hole here and still lock it.
hmm
I mean, May, he was your friend, so I'm not here to take anything. As I adjust
Well,
my
no.
cloak and my pockets are a little bulged out.
There's really only one thing that I'm looking for at this point. And really, if there's something that's going to help us that we could take, I don't
Billy comes
know.
down with a bunch of like
Nothing's
chipped
black and
teacups.
white. Nothing's black and white. So we need to try to figure out what to do to help us and to help the people in this village and make sure that it's not a sickness, that maybe it is a curse. I don't know. But would you be able to get into that lockbox? There's just a tome. I know I shouldn't ask this. It's terrible, but there's a tome that I was supposed to pick up from Ergon, and it's not up here, and I don't know where it is, and I'm nervous because I need that. Would you be able to try?
So you're asking me to break into this lockbox?
Yeah.
Don't forget you're on probation.
She says that as I'm already unfurling all of my lockpicks from this out. There's hundreds of them, and I'm like, this one looks like it'll work, and this one will look like it'll work. I haven't
look
even
over at
heard the
her.
probation thing.
I'm gonna look over at her and be like, "Yeah, I'm sure your father would love to know that this is where we are right now."
Never mind.
I got permission from the next of kin, so I'm going in.
I'm an acquaintance. I've met him like
You're his
5
friend.
times. Okay.
5 more times than I have.
Okay.
And I try to pick these locks.
You
Only takes
absolutely
one.
can. This is 100% going to be a roll for you, and we're going to say that this is going to be probably a finesse roll,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say. And your thief absolutely comes into play. So
Sure.
2 d12s plus 3. Add them all together.
21 with hope.
21 with hope. Gain back your hope. You see these like feline fingers go across it, and you don't barely.
Caressing it.
Yeah, it's just like a.
Is he
And they-
purring while he does it?
They cat paws
Probably.
for a second. You don't even see the lockpicks. For all you know, they just like touched it in just the right way, and it went
Soft paw.
soft kitty, warm kitty. The fuzzy mitten of justice lays onto it, and it pops open. Inside is you've got 2 wooden rows about yay big or so, and they're just lined with gold and platinum coins. Like this is the equivalent of a bag of gold for all intents and purposes. Like this is the dude's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a box similar to this tray, in which the coins open up into the bottom here, and in this section of it, There's a couple of vials. There's this glowing red shard. And there's a couple of different potion vials that are all marked in arcane runes.
Well, there's no book in here, but there are some stuff that I think will help us.
Like, don't touch the vials. Don't touch those.
Yeah,
we don't
no
know.
problem. As I'm touching the coins, vials
We
are
don't know
all
what-
yours.
Well, we don't know. I just want to leave them in there. We don't know if that's what the other person had.
You can read magic, right? There's magic on here.
Oh yeah,
The
I
runes,
can.
that's what I take as magic. You know, just
Yeah,
magic.
so I'm gonna go over and like just with my staff and kind of like hit the box so they kind of roll and I can read them.
As you go to manipulate, I'm not gonna ask for a roll on this because this is Hermes' thing. Like this is wizard shit 101.
Real good at reading.
Real good
real
at
good.
reading. What you find, there's a number of glass vials, none of which are this vibrant cyan blue that you were told about. There's a handful of vials, a couple of stoppered and sealed like clay jars, and a like reddish looking chunk of crystal that is pulsing. You recognize these things as such. One is a arcane shard, which is basically concentrated magic into a crystal, residuum sort of vibe. But you throw it and it goes boom in a very magical sort of way. That's what that shard does. It's essentially
shard.
It's a grenade. It's a spicy shard.
It's a spicy shard.
One of the little clay pots is a gill salve. It's got a couple of uses in it. You can rub the Vicks Vapor Rub stuff inside on your neck and breathe underwater for a couple of minutes.
Sweet.
Ergon was an adventurer.
That's not really useful for me.
There's in one of the vials, it's known as Moon Drip, and it lets you see in total darkness for a whole day.
Okay.
And then the last one is a minor health potion, which clears off some hit points.
I'm going to turn to the group and just tell them everything you just said. And just say, I know these were locked and I trust Ergon, but would it be wrong for us to use these, to use them for us to help to figure out what happened to him? Would that be selfish? Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
There's a second clay pot there as well. And you're going through and you're like looking at them and you're deciphering it. It's known as morphing clay. And it cracks open and it looks like Play-Doh. And you've seen this before. This was something that folks in the Cobalt Soul used on a regular basis. This can be used as many times as you need to. Unlike the vials, you put it on your face, and it changes your facial features specifically into somebody else's facial features for about an hour or so.
That's kind
Doesn't change your whole appearance,
just your face.
but it's a pretty good mask.
So I could be like a human frog.
Yeah, you'd have a human face on the body of a frog.
Think of the nightmare fuel this could
Yes.
create.
It's a cursed item.
The frog face
so
on
yeah.
a human body would be.
As I read through all these, I'm gonna tell everybody what they are, and again, just say like, would it be wrong for us to use some of these? Like, I feel morally conflicted.
I feel
What do you-
morally conflicted as I put this picture into our current episode discussion on Discord. That's a picture of a frog with a human face.
Why?
Oh,
Don't.
no.
Now
Oh,
you're
no.
gonna distract me. I'm gonna have to look.
I didn't realize that it also has a little butt.
Of course. Why wouldn't
Of
there be a
course.
little butt? But
Odd.
May, as your conflicted talk is coming out and whatnot, I like nonchalantly I pull out a little scroll with a
that butt.
with a quilt, and I start jotting down. It's like, don't feel conflicted. Look, I already said you're his next of kin. See, I found his will, and in my handwriting, with both of your guys' names spelt wrong.
I read your character sheet. I believe that they are still wrong.
Literally says from Ergon for May everything. Smiley face. He wanted you to have it.
I'm gonna take it. Just be like, oh, okay. And I'll redo this later. But I appreciate the sentiment, and I'll just fold it up and put it in my pouch.
So yeah,
So then I'll.
salve of gills for breathing underwater,
Mhm.
clay of molding for disguise selfing, a healing potion, and a moon drip potion, like a potion of dark vision.
Should
Essentially.
we just leave all of these things in here for now, where they're safe?
I mean, I think
Like in the hole?
that
Yeah. Like
We
in the
That-
take
box.
the hole with us, right?
Yeah.
You're the master of it. Yeah.
my thought is that if we needed it in a pinch, specifically the health potion,
Oh,
it
yeah, we'll
would
take
take a
that.
long time to unwrap this
Yeah.
thing.
Well, let's
Yeah,
take
yeah.
the health potion and maybe that red crystal.
Yeah. And we'll leave the 3 handfuls of gold in there.
There was more than that.
The 4 handfuls of gold in there. The bag of gold in there.
You will get it. We'll get it eventually.
I think we should
There's
take the molding face thing too.
Okay. I'll take that out and I'll throw it to you.
All right.
Because I feel like you're the best one to pull this off. As 3 of us have pretty we're
Distinct
pretty
fur.
yeah, distinct creatures.
I'm a generic human.
Well, you could be a generic human.
You're an amazing human right now.
Yeah,
And the
you
molding
are.
clay would generic fight.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Sometimes you just got to slum it and look like an uggo. That's what the molding clay is for. Can't be pretty all the time.
No, I would be pretty. I'd just be a different color pretty.
Okay, that's fair.
Just, a little
It's
bit
like for folks that have seen Has Been Hotel, it's like that fixing that problem we always had. Oh, ugly people?
more. Love
I
that
still
joke.
I can't get past like episode
So
4.
good. It's so good.
What?
We're trying.
Aw.
We'll give you some brownies and you can come and we'll eat some junk food and watch some Has Been. It'll be a good time.
It's so weird. And like I like weird things, but it's weird.
Amanda hasn't seen it yet.
All right, so we'll take these things, and I think we should hold this back up. Well, let's each get like you guys get a glass of whiskey, and then
Billy has just been.
I'm like, is there any left?
Yes.
Billy?
Question:
Again.
Are there any empty bottles down here?
They're not bottles. So
No,
there's
but are there any
3
empty? No, but are there any empty like small vials or bottles?
Going through, there's a wooden crate that has like some old kitchen stuff in it, and there's a couple like water skins and things like that.
Okay.
What
I'm
are you
looking
thinking?
for. I was just looking for some bottles or jars for Billy, so we could use the whiskey and make more of those
For Billy.
fire throwies.
I would say yeah, probably. There's a handful of like old wine bottles and things like that, and or
Okay, I'm gonna-
wine bottles of wine that are quickly dispatched and then
Okay.
refilled with whiskey.
Okay.
I don't know if Brian's
Whiskey
playing Billy
sounds
as a drunkard
probable
or
enough.
anything like that, but he's certainly toasty at this point.
We're just getting
Toast.
him more Molotovs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Priorities. All right, and
Wonderful.
then are you guys okay if we fold this back up and it goes back into this journal where it was? Because the fact that somebody tore the room apart and missed this because it's in a journal, I think that's a pretty safe place to keep it. I just want to make sure that's okay with everybody.
I have no argument there.
Okay.
Not going to
As
run away with it,
you-
are you?
No. What? Have you seen it out there? I will get 3 feet and freeze to death. I am not going anywhere. You can trust me. I'm not the one trying to steal handfuls of gold.
Hey, he's dead.
Don't AA me. Also, I appreciate her will.
He's dead.
I found it. He wanted you to have it.
The man
And
who
again,
kills me
I
will know what
appreciate
these
it.
symbols mean. Ron Swanson
I've had
over
this
here.
will since I was 9.
It's not complicated, son.
I know more than you.
The man or animal that slays me will know what they mean. As you fold back up these pages, you feel like it's a heavy tarp. And as you fold it over, anybody that's ever tried to put a tent back into a bag,
I was gonna
knows-
say, is this a tent or sleeping bag situation? And we're gonna have to like just.
you're folding
I'm
up a
actually
big
really good at it.
yeah, you're folding up a big canvas tarp that is like oilcloth. But as it folds in, the weight lessens because it seems to collapse in on itself to the point where when it folds back up, it's left as a single sheet of paper that's easily slipped back into this little parchment clasp inside that book. And getting nice and toasted on a bed, here's Billy. Cup and a wineskin. He's having a good time. May, as you leaf through the rest of it, the journal section specifically, because again, your conscience is nagging at you a little bit about like who belongs to, or what belongs to whom. Elrose said that they didn't know if like Ergon had a will or anything of that nature. And as you're reading through, like you're written in here in this book about like I met a strange little frog person. One of the traders had impressed upon a missive from down in Uthadurn and the surrounding area. The Cobalt Soul was looking for some stuff. They seem like a stand-up, all right person. And then they always used your full name,
Yep.
everything in it. It's a proper way to do things. They allude to they used to have a brother out in Islecross like decades ago. They don't anymore
Because they're
And-
dead, or because their brother's dead.
because their brother's dead.
Yep.
Like eaten by a Yeti, but I got that son of a
Dead to
bitch.
me.
And you look
Oh.
up as you're reading this to the white stuffed head on the mantle with gray horns. That's a Yeti face. That's an abominable snowman looking at you no matter where you are in the room
So is this like a Chubb's Happy Gilmore alligator situation?
or something. Yeah.
Okay.
I got his head.
He got
Yeah.
my hand, but I got his head. You can't.
As you just kind of like lazily leaf through by lantern light, he talks a little bit about life here, his travels. Elrose always been a reasonably fair fella to get around with. Talks about trading with Verla a fair bit. Verla.
Does it give a
Sometimes-
location?
Verla Pelk is the one that runs Pelk's Curiosities,
okay,
the
that's-
antique shop and the curiosity
Okay.
or curio shop. It talks about how she stiffed him again on stuff, and he was so certain that it was worth way more. And he carried this on his back for weeks at a time through a snowstorm, and then just to be stiffed on stuff and not having some kind words to say about her. But basically being the source of his income the majority of the time. So It talks about trading off items on his last getaway, pulling back a book that Herme would probably appreciate. This has always been a financial transaction. Like, you were gonna pay him.
Mhm.
You have a little bag of coins, nestly or squirreled away. That's probably burning a hole in your pocket of like
Away
guilt.
from my other coins.
It was meant for, this is your book money. And he's like, I can't read something, but it's got weird machines and drawings and stuff in it. I don't know what it means. It talks about how I can't find Herme's book. I think I might have it might have gotten lumped in with all the other stuff. I'll have to check on that. Why does my chest feel so funny?
Is there any information about the other stuff?
Not so much. Hey, we have Brian back. Hello.
Hello.
I got you some Molotovs.
You're drunk.
Amazing.
You are so
Yeah,
drunk.
and you're hammered.
You found a portable. You found a portable hole inside a book that was full of 55-gallon drums of whiskey and water and money and magic items.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Good stuff.
You're getting sloshed on a bed because what else are you gonna do?
Sounds good. Is this like end of the evening kind of thing?
Yeah. Right now everybody's just kind of like settling down. Herme's just going through the journal at this point that they found.
Okay.
I'll get a retcon that a little bit, Carly.
Okay.
Why does my chest hurt so much? When they're going through and that list that they gave with the dagger, the scroll case, the jade statuette,
Mhm.
it's 2 blue glass vials on the receipt, but in his journal it says, I think these are healing potions. They taste like healing potions.
Oh no.
Right? Like, well, that's generally what was done, is like you sample a little bit to gain an understanding of the properties. It just says 2 blue glass vials, but he says I think they're restorative potions or potions of healing of some kind.
But he sold them, right?
Yeah.
So
Sold
they're
2.
out there. They're out there. But he would have maybe even had just a sip out of one of them just to know what he was selling, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and I think the discussion was you're going to go to Pilk's in the morning to talk and see if they had anything that he sold.
But you also found footprints that lead to Tolgi's cabin outside tonight. As a consensus, you were pretty solidly sure that Tolgi was the one that rolled this place after coming down with this affliction, either for trying to rob the place or maybe to look and see if they could find what caused it. It's hard to say. Billy's been setting the place right, making some food, tidying up, that sort of thing, and now settling down into several nightcaps.
So do we grab some of the taters from the basement?
Yeah.
From the hole? We have whole
Fry 'em up.
taters.
You have whole
Fry
taters.
'em up.
We got taters of our own?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a whole
tubers.
bag of tubers.
Crack
Can we
open
shove 'em
one
in
of the jars of meat.
It is reasonably easy to go in and start getting something cooking on that big cast iron cauldron that Billy had set up and filled with snow and ice.
Billy, in his drunken state, would see the potatoes and start cramming them into the 4 corners.
So are we
like
gonna let him do this?
As you do.
Guys? Are we? We're gonna let this go?
Do you want to stop?
I mean,
the
No,
drunken
not
goat?
really. We're gonna let it. Yeah,
when in Rex and
You
Trump.
see that hammer?
right.
Exactly.
All right.
You're using the hammer to pound it.
Billy,
Yeah, exactly. Patting potatoes with the hammer.
you're fairly confident that the giant silvered maul that you guys found on the floor
Oh,
is a much more suitable weapon for keeping yourself alive than your construction site sledgehammer that you pilfered with the spray painted handle.
Yeah, I think that was actually one of the things that I had just kind of bookmarked and was like, I'm definitely gonna ask if
Yeah.
the party's cool with me swinging the silver hammer instead of the fucking old sledge.
Damage wise, it's all the same. It's just a silvered weapon versus not. So,
Cool.
that said,
I'm gonna
thanks
call
for
you the silver bullet.
I like it. Thanks for sticking around, Wookie. I appreciate it. You get some sleep, bud. Yeah. In the journal, they speak of like not necessarily having a family left alive. You know their brother's dead. They spoke of you fondly. They spoke
Found
of
the will.
Elro.
It's true.
Elro fondly. Elmo. Elmer says.
Nice.
And yeah, they don't make a mention of the hidden cache of cash and taters. But again, he was an adventurer. They generally have stuff there for their own self-preservation, right? This seems like exactly the kind of thing that you could set up in a snowstorm. Amongst all of those supplies, there's a bunch of smaller casks of like lamp oil and heating oil, and a bunch of just like glass lanterns and like heater lanterns and things like that.
Okay.
Book says. So, with your meat and tater stew, where's Cohen sleeping?
That has been a concern this whole time.
The floor has been swept. It's
we
not
have
getting any
extra
better.
blankets. No, we have extra blankets. I got them all from the hole.
Yep, there's bedrolls.
Oh, nice.
And pillows and such.
Cohen, they smell
Would I
used.
have great. Considering my background, would I have had access to something a little bit nicer than just a standard bedroll? In my
You have
bag?
whatever Cohen
Maybe like
would
a
have.
blow up.
Right.
It's just full of bladders. Yeah. You have whatever Cohen would have brought on the road for their own personal comfort that they could carry.
Just
Even
like, you
to
know,
the point
little-
of if you feel like Cohen had a pack mule to carry all of these extra luxuries, that's totally fine too.
You know what? Absolutely. I think probably. I think she would have her own little unfoldable cot.
I like it. I like
just
it.
in case.
Yeah.
With extra furs.
Do you need extra blankets?
I'll take them.
No.
I'm gonna
I have
as
my
I'm
own.
holding I'm just gonna go to all of them. Can I prestidigitation all of them to just like be clean? Like they're not clean, but we're pretending.
We're pretending.
Like it's like a Febreze. Like I've just Febrezed them all.
Just
I like that.
Okay. I know
it's the time stick.
Yeah. Like here you go. It's like they're clean for
You've
us.
successfully Febrezed all of the furs and blankets and things like that.
Done. Okay.
Now,
Cohen will
now
definitely
it's
have
wet
taken a
and
couple
stinking.
extra.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's
no.
prestidigitation. It's not wet.
Febreze, I mean.
We hang them by the fire for a bit.
It's Axe body sprayed.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Guys, you're insulting my magic, and it hurts my feelings.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I want your magic to do well.
It's
How
fine
many
to let it be
things?
fresh.
I just need it to smell like an early 2000s Alberta bar. That's all.
Nobody
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 needs
wants that.
All right.
We struck
Smells
that
like
down.
old cowboys.
Smells like Ezzy's. There it is. Yeah.
Always on hand. Absolutely. That's a nice one. That's a
Yeah.
swamp one.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
my granddad's swamp hat.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It does not fit my giant ass head in any way, shape, or form. I look like a
Wow.
crotchety prospector. but I still keep it.
Well, then it's a crotchety prospector hat.
It's a thing. You make your bed. You slumber down. And
I feel like Billy probably would have drunkenly propositioned somewhere for Missy to stay or Cohen to sleep. Just because he's fucking hammered. You guys said it.
yep,
He's a hooligan, for God's sake.
that is
I
true.
didn't put him here.
Room for one more.
Yeah.
No.
He's got the nice bed.
It is a reasonably comfortable bed made of grass.
And then he immediately passes out without hearing an answer.
I like it.
She'll still answer though, and she'll say, "Call me when you have a title."
Nice.
I like it.
He's Sir Billy the GOAT.
Sir
Not
Billy
yet.
the
A real
goat.
title.
I'm gonna take my blankets and just
It
make a
comes with the
little like
land.
nest.
Wrap yourself
By
up
the
like
fire.
an owl.
Yeah, pretty much. And like Gregory's just like snuggled right in. I gave him a few bites of stew.
Like it.
Gregory.
I would have created a little like nesting thing on the other side of the fire as close as I could get to it and just kind of
It
settle
is
down, tail flicking.
Circle
It
a couple of
is-
times.
the most
Are you making
comfortable.
biscuits?
Yeah,
That you
yeah.
think you
bacon
can be.
biscuits on the-
Maybe in my sleep.
Aw.
Can I walk?
3 o'clock
Okay,
in
is
the
it
morning,
weird?
he wakes us up and wants his little canned meat again.
Yeah. Is it weird if I like look over? I just want to like look over when everyone's going to sleep, and I genuinely want to see if Ash is making biscuits like in his sleep.
A little bit, yeah. Just, you know,
Has he got the little blep of the tongue?
should just wait till the 6 a.m. zoomies.
Oh boy.
This house is not big enough for that.
It doesn't matter. You
It
know
doesn't-
this.
Yeah,
Does not matter at
that's the problem.
all in any way, shape, or form.
I'll
My
get the
bowl's
portable
half
hole
empty.
out so they have extra space to run around.
Get some portal action
Patio.
going.
Sleep takes you. And you wake up cold
Hungover.
and hungover. And that makes it even worse. The fire's dwindled into embers. At a certain point during the night, it was, well, I'm not getting up and going outside and getting more firewood. I guess I'll just be cold. This is fine. I really have to pee, but I don't want to get up. I really have to. And finally, your constitutions get the better of you.
Oof.
You awaken. Start your daily routine. Somebody braves outside. The sun's shining, but it still sucks. And get a fire going again and warm the place up. Nobody's been stocking up his wood supplies for him in the last 2 months. It's just been dwindling down. What's your plan?
Pelks?
I think we should find Mila and have her stock up the wood
That is
while
such
we're out.
a
She's a
princess
cop.
answer.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's like, he's not a servant around here.
Yeah, what?
Well, then who is?
I'm sure if we found somebody, there's a lot of people in this village. Maybe someone might make a couple of gold just to stock up the wood.
That sounds much better than making the
Well, and-
simpletons do it.
We do have the reserves down in a hole that we could potentially take out of because it is technically for the house.
Technically, you're right.
And
All
I
the-
have
all
the
those
will.
All those handfuls of coins down there.
No, just like a couple. Like a not a handful, like 3.
A couple coins.
It's worth
Maybe we can get
stating.
better furniture too with it.
Or we could burn this
We're not
furniture.
staying here for that long.
We don't know that.
You don't know how long.
This could
This
be your new
furniture's
summer
fine.
home.
As I like smack the chair.
Reasonably sturdy. Your hand hurts.
Yeah.
Do you
You
think we
could
can
fit
buy
like 55
This can
termites in this
fit
thing.
so much door fast on here.
Herme, you can detach that page from the book should you choose to. It is not like directly
Stuck in there?
attached to the book. It can stay attached to the book. It's got like little clasps on it, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, I'm going to keep it in there just because it looks less suspicious.
It is a very, you wouldn't have noticed it if you didn't, like looking at it from the outside, you can't tell which page is the.
Yeah, that's why I want to keep it in the journal because it's a little more inconspicuous.
Yep. Absolutely. It fits down into your book nook just fine. AKA your like frog cleavage.
I have a pouch. Okay, I have a
I
purse.
believe you.
I am not putting it on.
You say
That's
frog
for the
cleavage,
handfuls
but
of
I'm just
gold
imagining
coins.
the little butt.
I know that's where my brain went too.
Just that tiny little butt.
Huh?
Just
I'm gonna
slide
have
it
nightmares about that frog.
Credit card.
Thank you, appreciate it.
in.
I'm dying over here.
This is tap. This isn't working.
You eat your morning meal. You make your preparations. Billy, you heft that maul real good.
Okay. What am I hefting them all on?
No, just like over a shoulder, take it with you kind of deal.
Start doing squats for my
Yeah.
morning routine.
Look, cardio
Gotta
is
get
important.
these big goat haunches up.
Billy has an absolute dump truck of a goat ass.
Cannon.
Yeah,
Absolutely
thighs.
cannon.
yeah.
Rub roast.
It's all for jump.
Heading to Pelks. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, Verla Pelks, correct? That's
Yes.
who
Yeah.
we're kind of looking for.
Correct. Easily seen. It's one of the larger buildings here in town. Again, there's maybe like 24 cabins situated all in a general area. There's an attempt at fencing around the perimeter of the village, but it didn't really take. It's a very tall. It's one story, but it's high ceilinged. Looks like a big 2-room log cabin with brightly painted shutters that have kind of flaked over time. The only entrance is the front door. You see all the shutters on this place are closed.
Get ready to kick the door.
Do we want to knock?
Will somebody get it?
Right. I'll
I
go.
mean, Billy's really good at knocking on the
Oh.
door.
Yeah, I can
With his hoof.
just knock with my hoof like lightly though.
As you give it a kick, you look up as snow comes down.
It was a gentle knock.
Yeah, well, just like a
Yeah.
There's a sign over the door that reads Pelk's Curiosities, and there's an image of a dragon being used to make the letter P for Pelk. The front door is a little bit ajar.
Oh, it's open. Let's go in.
Yeah. Push it further with the foot.
As you lean in to push it with your foot, Billy, you hear whispered voices and footsteps coming from inside.
I guess I just walk right in. It's a place of business. I'm not expecting there to be nefarious deeds going on.
Swing open the door, step in as a customer.
Yeah.
As you step in,
James.
How much damage?
that's a 14 versus Billy the Goat's evasion of 10.
Yeah.
As a crossbow bolt takes you full in the chest.
Can I spend an armor slot
You can.
to reduce 2 damage from that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bear
Bring
with
on
me
the
a sec.
feats.
So this is going to be 8 damage, which would have been a major injury, reduced down to a minor injury, so only mark 1 hit point off.
Do I start with hit points on or off?
What do you mean?
Because I have 2 marked right now.
That's probably from our testing.
Oh, that was
I think
just from our testing.
Just from our testing, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, you guys are free and clear.
okay.
Yep.
Then I'm going to just add 1 HP. As I take it to the chest, and I kind of stumble back as I'm kind of still up on like 1 leg, and then I'm just like, I don't think we're wanted here.
As you follow through, and that crossbow bolt sinks deep into your chest. The before you, standing, are 5 cloaked elves that have their hoods thrown back, and looking around, it looks like they've ransacked the shop, and they're searching through all the debris here, trying to make heads or tails of something. There's furniture, shelves. The front counter has been completely smashed through, and the shop's wares are just all over the floor. And they turn, and one grabs a goat's foot and reloads this crossbow as they turn, and all leverage weapons at you and be like, make quick work of them. And they go to fire. And that's where we're going to stop for the night.
Oh shit!
No!
As the bolts loose
No!
forward, 1 trained on each of you, 1 shooting at Hermes' head.
Rude.
Wow.
I'm just a little frog.
Yeah.
She's just a little frog. She's
I'm
all
just a
wrapped
little
up
frog.
in blankets
Just
and
a little
stuff.
guy.
Only eyes
You're
and
not
little
the one in
eyes.
plate mail. It's been a good time.
Oh, rip. It was a good run, guys.
It's a good time.
Cool.
Thank you so
news
much.
System critical roll. Well done.
Yeah. So
Seems fun.
far, what do you guys think compared to like the familiar 5e? Does it feel a little squeaky? Does it feel like you're finding your footing?
I like how like it's much more open. Like you can
Yeah.
do like you're not stuck to certain things.
Mhm.
If that makes sense, like you can, and like for the GM, you can do whatever you want, right? Like
You can do that in D&D too. Like there's
yeah,
very little limiting factor when you do narrative gameplay. And like
oh, I'm a stickler for the rules.
so am I. That's my thing.
Yeah.
But things like perception's the same.
Mhm.
Like I play a bunch of different systems. Perception in GURPS is different than perception in D&D, which is different than perception in Blades in the Dark, right? You're just doing the thing you want to do. It all just translates into what are you rolling for this one, right? You can still always do the thing that you're going to do. That doesn't change. It's just the vehicle that drives it. So
I think the less tracking of the amount of skills opens up for that more narrative nature.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of I need to do an athletics roll here, so
Yeah.
but I'm explaining, and then you're going to say to do the agility, which is just an overarching
Mhm.
dexterity type thing.
And I like that. So that's what 5e originally intended to do.
Mhm.
Because 3.5 was you had like 24 skills, right? Like decipher script and use rope are 2 very different skills, but they're using different attributes. 5e almost didn't have any skills in it. It was just, is that a strength or a dex thing? Right? Roll that. And this is kind of in the same sort of vein. I like that it gives you on Nexus examples of like, oh, you're trying to lift something, you're trying to smash something, use your
Mhm.
strength. You're trying to hide, use your finesse, right?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the character sheet. It's all well laid out. It
Yeah.
is kind of nice and open. I do feel like it's not as like, yeah, it just doesn't feel as rigid right now. I think it offers the players to take more part in the narrative part that like the DM gets to do a lot of.
Yeah.
It's less overwhelming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Making a wizard for it, I struggled because it's like I'm so limited in the things that I can do, whereas there's so much tied up into a wizard's identity of like you said, I'm going to use prestidigitation to clean these clothes. That's a 5e thing. That's not a Daggerheart thing. But it's
No,
fine.
I can do it. No, I have prestidigitation.
I know. But if you read what prestidigitation does,
I
I
just
can-
read the
I can-
word.
hey.
No,
You
I
don't
can
need to
change
call
an
each other
object's
out.
color, create a smell.
Yeah.
I did. I've made sure I did those things.
but
Put
clean
the
an
stain
object
color
is
out.
Yeah, no, wasn't gonna clean them.
And made
It's
it
to
smell
make
better.
them pretend to be
I'm
clean.
Febrezing.
Yeah.
That's why I was Febrezing.
Yeah, but that's a
You did
that's a thing
specify
that
that. You did specify that. Yeah.
See, I've followed the rule.
They
It's
worked
Keep
true.
the
for
rules out.
it's more that it's there's so much baked into the fantasy where it's like oh you want magic missile, right? That's a wizardy thing. Cool. You have to be a very specific kind of wizard to do that. The kind of wizard that you are, you got a blat shotgun gat. I like it. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so far, and I enjoy Frozen Sick immensely as a module. This is inside the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. It's intended to get you like levels 1 to 3 or whatever. Speaking of,
Oh,
you guys need to level up.
cool.
Whoa.
So
Because-
now, how do we do that? On the play sheet here,
So on the play sheet,
Probably
Character
um,
builder.
character builder, right?
yeah,
Go to level up.
I'm gonna load up my character and do this alongside you guys
Are you
And we
guys
can do-
on?
Each of these
Demiplane?
things.
on Demiplane.
Create an experience,
Experience.
Level up.
increase damage, level up options,
Yeah.
and another domain deck.
So the way that we're doing this is we're all leveling up once per session.
Mm-hmm.
So for the folks playing at home, where did you click to level up?
Okay, so we went to the character sheet and then
Character builder.
character builder from there, and then there's the level up option on the left. Okay.
Beautiful. So clicking level up, you guys are going to be going to level 2.
Experience.
You've got your create an experience. So just like Billy, you've got builder and hooligan.
Uh-huh.
Based on what you have, what you've done this session, what's a new experience you think you might have? And this goes for all of you because you're going to need one.
Drunkard.
Flat earther. No.
Flat earther.
Conspiracy theorist.
Detective.
Conspiracy theorist. Yeah.
Homemaker.
Prepper.
Prepper. I like that.
I'm gonna go with prepper.
All right. So anything that you think of as a prepper skill is applicable.
Okay. So now it's got these little gray arrows.
So it starts as it's going to be a number 1 for you as you level up.
Okay.
All
All right.
you increase your damage threshold, which is
nice.
a severe +2 normally. You've each got level up options that you can pick from.
Mhm.
If you plan to be a physical melee combatant, increasing your proficiency is a kind of a go-to because it gives you an extra dice of damage. You're rolling 2d12 instead of 1d12, for instance. Adding armor, or increasing your character traits is also a good one. So that's building up your agility, your strength, your finesse, your instinct, your knowledge. Herme, that's probably a solid way for you to go for wizarding, is increasing your knowledge because it's what you use for everything.
Okay, so for my experience, could I put like investigation?
I like it.
I
Yeah.
feel like I investigated.
Yeah. You're solving a puzzle.
Mhm.
You're sleuthing. Sleuthing is the important verb there. So for instance, leveling this up, I'm doing a fake wizard here. I'm going to say I'm picking increase my knowledge by 1. And the other one I'm going to pick is, I don't know, increase my major damage threshold by 2, because that seems like a pretty good thing for a wizard. There we go.
Okay, so I level up. It's not letting me select things. What did I do wrong?
In level, you have to change that from 1 to 2 at the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was getting stuck on that one too.
And then the
What-
last thing is to choose a domain deck card that fits. And I think that for this magical wizard that I'm looking at, we're going to go with the Book of Iliad, because having some telepathy and magic missile seems like an appropriate thing. Save changes. So when I jump back to the character sheet, and again, I'm not showing this, I'm just talking my way through it. This fake ramshackle wizard is now a level 2 halfling wizard, and has a bunch more things. You guys are going to notice when you hit about level 5 that you have too many abilities to be able to use in a single day, so you actually have to slot out which cards you want to use every day.
Oh, okay.
That represents, like, you're a wizard, you can't have all the spells you have to kind of prepare for the day. And there's certain abilities that let you swap them out on the fly once in a feat of great stress. So that's a thing. But yeah, that's Daggerheart in a nutshell so far. You can join us, I believe, next week. We're going to be doing this as well. We're going to continue on our adventure. And then the week after that, on the 6th, I believe somebody's out of town.
Yes.
That'd be a Danny. And then on the 13th, I believe
that would be me on. Reverse those.
All right.
Swap them.
I'm on the
Yeah.
6th. I'm on the 6th.
But yeah,
You're on the 6th, you're
on
on the
the
13th. All right. So I'll probably look to try and schedule some Vagabond either on the 6th or the 13th, or we'll just all get together and play some Stardew Valley and have a good time.
Nice.
We'll do an adventure farm that has monsters spawn at night. It'll be a good time. We should, because we do the Twitch thing, I should go and find a somebody to raid out to. That seems like an important thing to do. It's a thing that I often try to. Let's see. I can hear myself in my own ears. No Man is streaming right now. We're gonna raid out to No Man because Gnomes is awesome. Give me half a sec. Thank you guys for hanging around all night and for trying this stuff and playing with us tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Carly, how's your very first time streaming ever?
It's good. It's good.
Think you'll keep doing it some more?
I would love to. I just have to mentally make sure that my characters are just appropriate.
That's totally fair.
Teacher life and all.
It's a thing. I understand.
It's a thing.
Whoops.
True.
I have to contend with the fact that my children might see this someday.
If it's not this, it's going to be the photos I have of you. So don't worry about it.
Listen,
Thanks,
if you
Auntie
raise them
Carly.
right, they're
From
going to be
all-
playing this soon.
From all the camping trips we've had.
Fingers crossed. All right. Kicking off a raid. And thank you, everybody, for stopping by. If you're around the Calgary Expo this weekend, you can find Carly and me harassing the locals and getting D20s tattooed on our butts.
And
But-
just lurking. Just
Pick up some
Absolutely.
new dice.
yeah, these are hot garbage. If anybody wants these,
Get rid of them.
hot garbage. Don't even know where they came from, but I'm done.
Beautiful. I like it. All right, we are raiding out. I got kicked out of the house for this.
He did not. He's being dramatic.
Oh, is that is?
That's mine.
I like it. Beautiful.
Yep.
All right, let's kick off that raid and go. Beautiful. Thanks everybody for stopping by. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Guys.
Bye.